Okay. Hello, everybody. Don't forget to touch the screen, please. Mary Odia, Oluwashim, Shika, Omonike, Mesonge, Aisha, Rochelle White, Williams, Eloy. It's been a while. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Can I be better? Welcome, everyone. Dorothy Dora. Welcome, Ernest Ebong. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all of you. Pastor Nira. Oh, yeah, good now. Pastor Nero. Okay, here we go. Please go and tag your friends. Go and invite your friends and relatives. And we'll be happy to be here today. And I hope you are glad to be here. Please go invite your friends. We're going to continue this teaching. I hope it will be another exciting time for us. And I hope we'll be able to find the right video to really help convey this truth out. But here we go. The teaching of today is knowing and understanding God through love. Knowing and understanding God through love. Knowing and understanding God through love. So the whole thing we are doing actually is discovering God and getting to know God. I don't know if I told you the story that of what happened to me one time when I went to Nigeria. This was a long time ago. Maybe it was 15 years ago. Actually, it was a while ago. So what happened was that I went to Nigeria with one of my assistant pastors. And our church was, quite young that time, but this pastor has been with me for like 10 years about that time. And because I've not been going to Nigeria, but I've heard about all these wonderful moves of God in Nigeria, that they have all these anointed men of God. Idahosa was still alive that time, I think. So it's more than 10 years, probably 15 or 20 years ago. So Idahosa was alive. I was hearing of all the mighty things he was doing. I was hearing about the mighty things people like Adeboye was doing, Kumuyi, Oyedepo. I never even heard of Oyedepo before. All of a sudden, I started hearing about him. Then Wale Oke. And so I decided to take one of my pastors to brag on my country and to brag on the great work of God that is happening there. So we were in Nigeria for 5 weeks. And after going to church, and I was taking him like an excursion, taking him all over the country, crisscrossing the whole of Nigeria, getting to meet Idahosa, getting to meet Onabule in Benin, getting to meet Ayo, Orisha Jaffo, getting to meet Michael Okonko, getting to meet Oyedepo, getting to meet Adeboye, getting to meet, everybody. Who is who? Ezekiel, getting to meet, who else is there in that country those days? I mean, those are the names in the country that time. Kumuyi, getting to meet Kumuyi as well, and getting to meet everybody. So we were meeting all these men of God, and also we were attending their services. Sometimes I would speak, sometimes we would just go and attend. After going to these churches for like 4 weeks or 3-4 weeks, my pastor, my assistant that was attending to me, that went together with me, my assistant pastor, declared to me one day that he is not going anymore. I said, what's happening? He's no more going. You are no more going? But you came here to be with me. He said, yes, I will go for you just to help you take your bag, but I don't want to go to all those churches anymore. I will sit outside. I would rather just go and, take fresh air. Wahala deo, kilo day. What happened? He said, Pastor, you want me to tell you the truth? I said, you could tell me that. When did it happen? So he said, okay, if I have to tell you the truth, Pastor, if this is the gospel, this thing I'm seeing here in Nigeria, if this is the gospel, then Pastor, I'm sorry. I cannot go to this kind of churches anymore. I follow you to respect you, but this is not what you have taught us in Ukraine. If this is the kind of gospel you are taught in Ukraine, you wouldn't have seen all these Ukrainians coming to you. You wouldn't have seen all these Europeans in your church. There is no way I would have been a member of your church. I mean, he said I was an atheist, a communist, and I was doing well. But, you showed me God. But when I go to all these churches, all these things, for almost 5 weeks now that I've been in this country, the only thing I've been hearing is all kinds of promises about the God that blesses you, the God that does miracles for you, the God that will, give you prosperity, the God that will give you healing, the God that will do this for you, do this for you, do this for you. But what about me? It's like they are preaching to the poor people. It's like they are taking advantage of the people. They are using people's desperate situation. I never even thought about it at that point like that. They are using people's desperate situation to oppress them. I mean, to take advantage of them. So we have been going to church for 5 weeks, 8 weeks, 5 weeks, or almost 5 weeks. You know what he said? He said, Pastor, I've not had any preaching about God. Nobody has spoken to me about God. Nobody has said anything to me about God. I said, I mentioned his name. I said, bro, Pastor's this. What do you mean? Nobody has spoken about God. I said, we've been to Kumi's place. You didn't hear about God? He said, no. We've been to Oyedepo's place. You didn't hear about God? No, I didn't hear. We've been to Adeboye's place. You didn't hear about God? He said, you didn't hear. So what were you hearing? We've been to even Dawusa place. You didn't hear about God? I didn't. He said, I've heard about. So he began to explain to me, and I just got it. I've been hearing about faith. You need to have faith to get something. I've been hearing about breakthrough. You come to church to get your breakthrough. I've been hearing about that. I've been hearing about healing. I've been hearing about blessing. I've been hearing that God will do it for you. Today is your day. I've been hearing testimonies. I've been hearing about barrenness. I've been hearing about children. I've been hearing about raising the dead. I've been hearing about, spectacular things. I've been seeing crowd. I've been seeing... But everything I've been hearing in these churches, in this country, is about what God can give to man. But I don't need anything. I'm coming from Europe. I don't need anything from God. I don't need God to bless me or to give me a husband or to give me wife or to give me pregnancy or to give me prosperity. I don't need God to do that. I can do that by myself. I can give myself prosperity by myself. I can give myself blessing. I don't need that. I just want to know, the reason I came to your church, why you want me, is that I want to discover God. Who is God? How do I get to know Him? How do I understand God? How do I be like Him? How do I have His features? Who is He? How does He reveal Himself to people? How can I walk with God? How can I know God as a friend? How do I walk with God personally? How do I make Him my treasure? How do I make Him my value? How do I make Him my life? How do I love Him? How do I walk with Him? How do I make Him become my friend? How do I become like those people I read in the Bible? How do I know Him as a friend? I don't need to go to church. He said if the only reason why people are going to church is to get something from God, that means that they are not loving God. They hate God. I said, what do you mean they hate God? Don't see the way they are dancing. He said, but Pastor, but you can see that they are dancing so that God will bless them. But you can see the prayer. We are going to dance prayers. He said, Pastor, but you can see that they are doing all these prayers so that they will get something. They are exploiting God. They don't like God. They don't love God. They hate God. They love themselves. And these are the things that I've been preaching to them. But I never even thought about, sometimes you need something to trigger your thinking. Then I began to say, wow, you are right. It is true. I knew that immediately that time. I knew that, if these are the best in our country, if these are the real giants, the generals of this country, and this is the kind of church we have come up with, then we don't have a church in Africa. We are in trouble. People don't get to know who God is. People are not being taught how to walk with God. People are not going to discover every week, every church service, the qualities of God, the characteristics of God. People are not becoming like God. That's why the society is not reflecting God. The society is not reflecting the kingdom of God because people are not being taught how to reflect God. People are not being taught how to carry God. People are not being taught how to become like God, how to look like God, how to behave like God, how to, the only way they teach you to become like God is to do miracles in the name of God. So it's all about using God for something. It's not about, it's not a transformational relationship with God. It's a transactional relationship with God. All these things I'm describing is called transactional relationship with God. It's a relationship whereby you trade with God. You go for deals. You go to get something. It's a transactional relation. It's a transaction going on in church. So the kind of church that we have built in Africa, the kind of mega church and the church that we have in Nigeria, the most important, the biggest and the famous churches, they are all based on transactions. It is not relationship, personal relationship with God. It's not about making God your personal friend, your closest ally, your love, your treasure, your gold. It's not about knowing God personally for yourself. It is now more about transactions, what God can do for me, what I can get from him. And that is what paganism is. And that's what paganism is, because that's what Jesus said, that don't come to me, don't come to God because of what you can eat, or because of what you can drink, or because of what you want to wear. Don't come to God for those things. Come to God because you want to love him, because you want to discover him as a father. Come to God because you trust him. Can you come to God and worship God and I want to throw a challenge to all of you that are watching me right now. Can you believe in God and worship God for 1 year? Let me throw a challenge to all of you right now. For 1 year, for you not to pray or ask for anything from God. Not to pray a prayer asking for anything from God. Let me throw you a challenge like that. Can you, from today is 8th of February. From the 8th of February, this year, 2018, to 8th of February, 2019, let's make a deal. Let's make a decision that I will never ask God for anything. Not for healing, not for blessing, not for prosperity, not for protection, not for anything. But just to love him. Just loving on him. Just being close to him. Just getting to know him, to discover him, to understand him. Just getting to know, just becoming the best buddy with him, the best friend with him, the best son-father relationship, father-son relationship. Just building a father-son relationship with him. Getting to discover him, just deriving joy and happiness just for the fact that you are getting to know him. Deriving pleasure, the maximum pleasure, not by the things you get from him, not by the things he gives you, not by the prayers he answers, but just by getting to close with him, getting close to him. I personally will tell you this before God, that in a year, we have 365 days in a year. I probably don't pray for myself and my family more than 3 to 5 times a year. 3 to 5 times a year. And those times, I don't even ask for anything. The time I will ask for things from God will probably be maybe one or twice a year. Or one or two, I would better to say one or two requests in a year. I will in the whole year, I will ask from God. Otherwise, what am I doing with God? I'm getting to discover Him, getting to love on Him, getting to know how to please Him, He is not here to serve me. He is not here to fulfill my demands. I am here to serve Him. He created me, made me to be used, to use me. I'm not using Him. He is using me for His own glory. So it's not about me asking Him to give me something. It's about me asking that He should give me instruction. It's about me asking for His instruction, for his direction, for me to be able to do what He wants. That is what my prayers are supposed to be about. Not about me getting blessed or asking for blessing. I don't know if that kind of Christianity is still possible in Africa today. But we've got to introduce this kind of understanding to Christianity, guys. We've got to introduce this kind of concept. This is the real Christian concept, when you don't need to begin to, yes, God said, ask and it shall be given to you. But your whole life shouldn't be about asking. The whole relationship should not be built on asking. The whole relationship should be built on love. The whole relationship should be built on relationship of a loving father and a grateful son. I don't know if it's going to be possible to do this in Africa, to bring this back in Africa, but this is what we've got to target. We've got to target a Christianity when people don't need to go to God for something. You know, a lot of Africans become atheists in Europe. You know why? Because when they come to Europe, they discover that they don't have to pray anymore. In fact, somebody told me when I got to the UK, it was only 1 year or 2 years later that I started going to church. I said, what happened? He said, because I just forgot, frankly speaking. He said, Pastor, just tell you, I just forgot to pray. I just forgot. Because I wake up in the morning, water is flowing. So don't need to pray for water to come today. I wake up in the morning, no electricity. NEPA didn't switch off electricity. That NEPA for Nigeria's electricity company didn't take light. Electricity is on all the time. So I don't need to pray for electricity. I went to iron my clothes. The iron is always working. Then I'm going to the car. I don't need to pray that there will be no traffic or there will be no accident, all the kind of things. Everything is just smooth. I just forgot to pray, Jerry. I forgot totally about prayer or God. Because all the things I was praying, all the things I was praying before, they all disappeared when I came to Europe. And you know, many people actually become atheists because of that. Because they discovered that, wow, what was driving them in Africa was their need. They were being driven by need rather than being driven by God, by love for God. Most people we see in churches in Africa, they don't love God. They say they love God, they sing, they pray, they roll on the floor, they jump, but they're only doing those things for what they could get. It's all egocentrism, selfishness, no relationship with God, no love, no discovery of God, no idea about who God is. That's why, and this topic has confirmed to me that. Because this topic, since I started this love topic, first of all, a lot of people have disappeared. Secondly, even those who have not disappeared, they are telling me that, Pastor, this is new. I say, if this is new, so what have you been doing in church? What have people been doing in church? Because they don't teach you to know God in churches. Most churches don't teach you how to know God. Most pastors don't know God. They believe in Him, but I'm not talking about believing in God. I'm talking about knowing God. Most pastors don't know what it means to understand God. And most churches have never thought about how to understand God, or how to know God, or who God is. They only know about God and miracles, that's all. But to just love God for who he is, even if he will not bless you with anything, that is a strange concept in Africa. To just love him for who he is, even if he will never give you anything. To love him just for loving him, even if you never ask him for anything. Those are strange concepts in Africa. You don't just go to church and not ask for anything. In fact, that's why you go to church. So why do you go to church then? That's why you don't need to go to church, by the way. Because you can love him in your house. And if you go to church, it will be because you want to show example of good works to other people and be able to inspire other people to love him more and to know him more. So this whole thing we are doing this week is called knowing and understanding God. So if this is not being taught in the churches in Africa, which is the very primary thing, the most important thing why you should be a Christian in the first place. This is the very reason why we are Christian in the first place. The most important assignment as a Christian is to know God, understand him, and love him. To become one with God. That is the whole purpose of Christianity. But in Africa, they are teaching them that the whole purpose of Christianity is not to sin, as if Jesus has not overcome sin. Then they teach them the whole purpose of Christianity is to overcome the enemies, as if Jesus has not overcome Satan and has not said love your enemies. Then they will tell you that the whole essence of being a Christian is to go to heaven, as if the kingdom of God is already not in us, as if we are already not in heaven, as if we are already not sitting at the right hand of the Father. So all those three things, the Nigerian churches teach as the essence of Christianity is all rubbish, is all done, is all past tense, it's all irrelevant. You don't go to church because you want to go to heaven. Because if you're already born again, if you're already saved, you're already in heaven. Number two, you don't go to church because you want to overcome Satan. That's rubbish because Jesus already overcame it. You don't go to church because you want to overcome sin. That is also rubbish because Jesus already overcome sin. So the essence of Christianity is just wasted. Zero. If the way that is being taught in Africa right now. So we need to introduce to people then, so why then go to church? So why is then Christianity relevant? So what is the meaning? So if I'm not going there so that I will not sin, so why is the church relevant? If I'm not going there so that I will overcome Satan and enemy, then why is the church relevant? If I'm not going there so that I will make it to heaven. There is a whole concept in African church that the reason you go to church is to make heaven. Can you believe it? Whole churches have it as their mission statement to make heaven. You just need to think a little bit to discover that that is rubbish. Because you're already in heaven. So what do we then do in church? What do you go to church to do? You go to church to get to know your Father better through the help of people who might have discovered him better, who inspire you more to want to love your Father more. You go to church to be able to expose the Father you have discovered in your house to your friends, to your brethren, to inspire them to know him more. Not just to receive, but to actually help people to know and understand God more through your presence, through your interaction. Because if you go to Africa now and you remove Satan, you remove sin, you remove heaven from Christianity that they are practicing there, then there's nothing left anymore. Only empty religion, you see. But we go to church or we believe in God, we read the Bible, we pray, we do all that religious stuff because we want to know God. We want to understand God. We want to love God. These three things are essential. Okay, but that is what we are doing the whole week. But today, the topic of today specifically is that love loves truth. But before I start this, Pastor Natasha, do you want to comment on what I just said? About knowing God, understanding God, about why we all go to church and what Christianity is like in Africa. You are probably surprised and shocked that, is that true what I'm saying? It's true. You ask them, they will tell you it's true what I'm saying.
Yeah.
For you, it might be strange, but that's what people are doing in Africa. So sorry.
In my mind, church and going to church is not about asking for me or asking God, give me or my needs. I coming to the church because of my needs. I'm interested.
See, you are a lucky man, a woman. You are a happy woman.
Yeah, I have not this mindset.
You don't have that concept at all.
At all.
But there are some people in Africa, African Christian, that's the only concept they have. Can you believe it?
I cannot imagine. I cannot change my mind now in another.
You cannot even think like that.
No, I cannot. I
that
try.
People go to church.
I try put myself in their place.
You can.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
Go to church to get something?
Yeah.
How?
So I cannot imagine.
To believe in God so that He will give you something?
Yeah.
You cannot imagine that?
For me, church, the picture of church is not about this at all.
At all?
At all.
It's not even related to the picture of church.
And I tried also remember when I asked God about something. Yeah, and I said, oh God, I didn't ask you anything.
You see?
Yeah, sometimes 1 minute, oh God help me, give me strength. And
That's
I
all.
continue to live. To do my things, yeah.
Don't ask God for anything.
Yeah.
So people will say, then why believe in God?
Yeah, and I just, in this minute, I just recognize that I depend on God. My life is dependent
on
cannot
God.
Without Him anything.
Yeah.
But after I leave, I continue to do things,
Because some people will say that I'm not asking for anything because I am Pastor Sunday, or because I'm close to God, or because He's so anointed. But you see, people who have been taught well, it's not because it's Pastor Sunday. Every healthy Christian, in fact, that is a sign of being healthy, that you don't go to church to receive anything, or to ask for anything, or to demand for anything, or to pray for anything. You don't even pray in your own church, in your own house, in your own heart for anything from God. That is a sign of a healthy Christian. Yeah. Tell them so that they will know that this is.
I remember when I came to God, when the people tell me about God, I came to the church and I asked Jesus come to my heart. In this moment, I understand. Oh, this is what I have need in my life, and I continue to come to church and have relationship with God because of Jesus, because of Him, not because I needed something. So I came to God not because I needed something, but I came to Him and I recognized, oh, this is what I missed in my life. This is what I need. Him. I need Him. So, and this is why I start to have relationship with God. He became as my friend. Before as my friend, after I continue to knowing God as Father, as as King, as God. So who is He? So, and I discovered every time, and every year I discovering something new
about my Father.
Yeah, about God. And this is why I am every day like surprised. I'm for me it's very interesting to live with God because I discover
a new face of God every minute.
A new face. Even when I go through difficulties, also I don't ask God, oh God, why these difficulties make okay, do something, help me. No, in these difficulties I also understand God
better.
Better, and I understand how to love. So He teach me through difficulties and help me to become as He is. So everything is about Him, not about me. Oh, me, make my life more easy. It's about Him.
Not make my life more easy.
When we go through difficulties, it's not about you. It's about Him. Yes, of course, it's about and you, but only for you to become as Him.
Yeah.
The point why God create us by His image, but His icon. So everything He is interesting about is you will become as Him. This is why you go through difficulties. It's because he loves you and he wants you. He don't want you just stay in this earth as some animals.
No, I'll have good life.
Yeah.
Just for you.
Yeah. So God is interesting for best for you, but for you to have the best life, is first you need to become as He is. You understand? The best image of God you need to have in you. So this is what church is about. Yeah. Why we go to church? To become as Him. To learn some. For example, now you are listening this program. So ask yourself, what I can take today, so I become more like Him. What I can get, which words or thoughts I can use today to make something, to create something as He will do in my place today. So it's about Him and your relationship with Him, as Jesus when He was on the mountains, and what Jesus did in mountains. He didn't pray, oh God, help me with these people. Oh God, it's so difficult. Oh, this cross, God. Oh, help me. No, he was watching what God is doing, and after he go to the people, and he did what he saw
the
Father is doing. Yeah, we need to learn to read Bible, New Testament, by new point of view, by renew mindset, not through our egoistic nature. And now I understand more and more why Jesus said, if you want to follow me,
you have to deny
yourself. I am not sure how many Christians in the church did it. And we are Christians.
They don't deny themselves.
Yeah.
They rather go to church for themselves.
Yeah. So
and Jesus said, deny yourself.
Yeah.
But in African church, no. You go to church to get yourself.
Yeah.
Something.
So Christianity is not about it's not about religion. It's about.
It's not about me. It's
it's not about
him.
me. Yeah. So we need to renew our mind, and of course, we need to came back into the basis.
Yeah.
Basis and through what God said, how He is thinking, how He is looking in us. For example, think about how God had in His mind, why He created church. His thoughts, not what pastors think.
Some people will say
what God had in His
maybe
head.
God created it so that it would resolve my problem.
But when Jesus created the church, he said to the first church. Yeah, it was, of course, our part is we care about people as church. And this is you go to church as Christian or as non-Christian.
I care for what He cares for.
Yeah.
I care for people because He cares for people. Yeah. So what means that His burden, His priority is why becomes my priority, not my priority, but His priority.
If we talk about church, is one thing. When we go about our mission as church in the world, also this is a little bit another.
Yeah.
So now we are topic in the church as instrument to change ourselves and to become as God. Yeah, but one of the nature, what God wants us as Christian, who is part of the church, to do. This is care about people, take responsibility.
To reflect
God. But what happened? People come to church and stay there. So they stay there, and there they build, work for themselves. My needs. Now we are looking on our needs, and this circle hold Christian in the church about needs, about what you are caring about yourself, and after you can go even in the world and even care about people at all. Yes, we are talking in the church, love people, care about people. Yeah, we can hear this, but in reality, we caring about ourselves in the church. So we need to change this mindset.
Church shift.
Yeah, church shift. So, and you know, for me here, you know, yeah, it's very strange to hear, like, to live for myself. I don't know, maybe me is like that, I don't know, but I don't think so. Yeah, but for me, my life is, God is my life. So I live because He gave me a life, and you know, I serve Him not because I have to do it, you know, like, or you need to serve or something to do. No, because I love Him. I do it by my free will. I want it because it's His nature, it's my nature. So when you became as God, you know, you will not ask stupid questions to God. God, why me? Why I have to do, or something like that. So this is the first thing. If I'm caring to be as Him, many questions in your life will, you know, even will not be raised up. It's like Jesus said, seek first kingdom of God, everything will be. So,
But
you
for
know,
example, in Africa, someone in your place will say, you are over 30 years old, you are not married. And African people will think, oh, I'm not married. Why God not answering my prayer? I go to church so that God will give me my husband. I serve God so that God will give me a child. I serve God because I need God so that I be good as other people.
Yeah, I heard you before. You said that our relationship with God is not transaction.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. It's very sad that many people think like that. They think that, you know, transaction, asking God about things they want. So this is like some level, I don't know.
It's a business.
Yeah, it's
It's
like
paganism.
give me. Yeah, paganism. It's paganism because, you know,
It's like give me.
Yeah, and it's lack of knowledge.
Lack of knowledge
about life. How is it? Because if you know what life is, you will not ask this question. You will not spend your time even for this kind of prayers if you know what life is. So
but if you see all the testimonies we show, it's always about children. I going to God and pray for 15 years, for 10 years. I lie in the altar. I went to the bishop. I come every day, pray. I give money. I serve. I clean the church. I did this to get to pregnant. To you, that is.
Yeah, I cannot. I don't understand, Pastor. I cannot understand. Okay, yeah, me, I don't understand. Yeah, because
it's crazy.
Yeah,
because it's transaction, it's
yeah,
business.
Yeah, I know God is creator of life, you know, and this is because people don't know God. They don't know God.
Oh, now you are talking.
Yeah, they don't know God. This is why they ask all of this. They don't know Him. So everything is starting from knowing and understanding God, you know, and through love, of course.
Now you see why this is important to Africans, this topic?
Yeah, I understand. Knowing and understanding God. Yeah, because
some of them, most people who are listening to this is new to them. They never heard in any church. They never heard in any of their church. You ask them, and how many churches they have gone to? We have 300 people now here almost. Out of the 300 people, how many of them ever heard this kind of teaching in their church? None, I'm sure. None ever heard it. Yeah. Either it's America or in England or in Nigeria, they never heard it.
Yeah,
because people don't teach people how to know God. They're teaching you how you can get something from God. Yeah. It's like how you can twist his arm and get something.
Guys, I'm very glad for you that you are watching this kind of programs. Really, you know, when you just knowing and understand God, you will see how your life will change. So I ask you. So continue to watch these programs because my life
and share as well. Share.
Because you know my life was changed because of this topic, about this topic, you know, and just discover what love.
For example, for Nigerians, they don't understand how I told them about somebody from here, one of my pastors I took to Nigeria, who said, "Pastor, I can't go to church in Nigeria anymore." Yeah. Truly, you understand that?
Yeah, truly, I wasn't in Africa, so I didn't saw it. But because I work a lot with people from Africa and with you, so I start to see these things step by step and recognize and, you know, understand what I have even. which knowledge I have, do you know? And yeah,
You never even knew there are Christians like this.
no.
Because in our church, people think everybody is like us, like Embassy of God.
Yeah,
People don't even think they're human beings who are called Christians, who go to church to get blessings.
Yeah, and even because we know pastor, he's from Africa, so we was thinking all Africans is as you know?
So the young girls, everybody want to marry Africa because they think everybody is like African Pastor Sunday. So our church people, they love Africans because they want to help Africa because everybody is like Pastor Sunday. So now they see that they are different people. Yeah, it's like a shock, huh?
Yeah. So all life we live and we learn things. But yeah, topic is very important, and even for me. Because even for me,
you now value what you have.
Yeah, more. I value what I have, but I learn a lot, and my knowledge, my understanding became now even better than before. So I continue to learn and to make strong my knowing and understanding God. I am growing. I want growing in this more and more because I want to be. I understand that. Until now, I am not
closer to God.
Yeah, I am not yet as I have to be, and I recognize this, and and I desire to be more and more as God is, and this is why I continue.
So you imagine how shocked this person I went to Nigeria when they saw this.
Yeah.
And every day we are going to one church for 2-3 weeks. It was just.
Yeah,
it was like in crisis. It was like it was in stress. It was stressed up. It was saying, Pastor, I'm going to die if I go to those churches. I don't have time to have personal relationship. It's church, blessing. God will do this, God will do it. I'm tired. I need to get some time with God myself. I need to run away from them.
Yeah, and I asked myself when you told this story, I asked myself, what have to be there? This person will react like that. How terrible is things.
Idol worshipping.
Yeah. How terrible is things in Africa there in the churches. For him to say no, I don't want to go there.
Because he's seen idol worshipping that is packaged like Christianity. Real idol worshipping.
Yeah, I think
what surprised him is that all these idol worshippers, they respect them like God. He is shocked. The way, for example, people cannot go and meet their pastor. For example, when we were in Nigeria, we were with all the churches. Oyedepo, Kumuyi, Adeboye. He is shocked that nobody can go to them to just talk like this.
When I first meet you, you came to me and said, hello, how are you? Like that. And I said, hello. and you asked me, did you meet before? I said, no. And he was watching again. This was first time I saw Pastor. And he said, really? We didn't meet before? I said, no, I will remember even with you. So this was my first meeting with Pastor just in the hall of the
thousands
church.
Of people.
Yeah. So this is, and I will tell you true, then I didn't know yet which church pastor had. After when I saw, wow, which church pastor have, I was thinking, wow, I didn't know. So pastor already was very successful person, but for me, like person, he saw me, he was treat me as with love, as
now.
Human being, like this is, with love. So as I met Pastor 22 years before, he's exactly like that until now. The same. Yeah. And this is, I don't need somebody tell me more or something. I know you. And the same is with God. If I know God, I know Him. So, just let's knowing God. Let's understand God better through these programs. Yeah, and I really feel and I understand if we, like who call ourselves Christians, will make this subject very important in our life. Like consciously, I want to know God. I want to know Him and understand Him, and I want to be like Him. this kind of people will change the world. And then, the world will be shaken through this kind of Christians. So this
what? Even though I have another topic, for today, I wanted to talk about love's truth, but I think I'm going to do that tomorrow because I think it is so important.
Yeah, knowing and understanding God. People is hearing about God more, and people is hearing about religion, about the form, how church is created, about traditions.
But in Africa, people don't talk about tradition. People are talking about miracles, just me.
Miracles.
Yes.
Yeah. The miracles,
blessings for me.
Yeah.
Some help. Maybe because of poverty in Africa.
I think I think about poverty, lack of education and knowledge, understanding principle, ignorance. Yeah. I think if Africans will have knowledge and principles, they consciously get knowledge and will change their minds. Africa, Nigeria, this country have big chances to become very, the country in the first top countries in the world, because Africans have, they have some strength inside of them, but they need knowledge, because without knowledge, this potential
they have
and
what inside?
passion,
strength,
like passion, fire. The people I know, they are, they have not fear. They have more freedom even than European.
Yeah.
But European, they have more knowledge, more educated. This is why they are now top. But if Africans will get the same what Europeans get, knowledge, principles, with the right basic, so then African became more higher than Europe. Because I believe Africans have this potential inside. I'm learning this yet, but I'm sure that Africa will be in top countries, or Africa will be in top countries if they will get principles and will be educated well. And poverty will be destroyed then also, because poverty starts from the mindset. Yeah.
Because that's what I tell by African people. Some pastors say, oh, everybody is so bad like this because poverty. But 30 years ago, when I was in Africa, more poverty was there than now. And maybe not in Nigeria, but in Africa in general. But even there are some countries in Africa who are still poorer than Nigeria, but they are not so greedy. It is because of the message, the wrong message.
Not because of poverty, because African people have life and joy more than Europeans, and this is very strong energy that can push people very fast forward. Yeah. So this is not poverty's problem, because
it is the wrong knowledge.
The wrong knowledge. Yeah. The wrong knowledge. On knowledge. They need knowledge
because
and
the pastors they are not giving them principles. They don't teach them principles. They teach them religion.
Yeah.
They don't teach them the knowledge of God. They teach them religion about God.
Yeah.
They don't teach them understanding God. They teach them commitment to church.
Yeah. And this, when people is not educated well, and somebody like, they like church is way for you. Okay?
It's the only way.
Yeah. If you want to be happy now in your poverty, just go to church. This is our world. We'll enjoy our life together. But which life? Enjoy.
And even when you are saying that people in Africa, that is because they don't have education. But to them, some of them will be angry. Some of them will be offended that, what do you mean we don't have education? We have university. We finish university. I am a doctor. I am this. But that is not what you are talking about. Because all those people in those churches, they have first degree, second degree, third degree, but they are like,
education.
Like no European will ever think.
education is not about in which university you was.
It's not about degree.
No, it's not about degree. It's not about your
Diploma.
diploma. No, at all. At all. It's about of mindset and how you can think.
Ability to think.
Ability to think, yes.
And to question
And
things.
question things, yeah. And sometimes, even in education system, they don't develop this. They just give you information, just answer some question. You ask questions for degree, but you are the person. If person is not interested to get knowledge, you know, and is more interested about degree and diploma, because after they will get job. So this is
It's a slave.
not- yeah.
Education is for slavery.
Yeah.
That degree
Yeah.
is for slavery.
Yes.
But real education is the ability to question. Remember this. If you anybody for you to know who is educated, who is not educated, remember this forever. The only people who are educated, the highest sign, the number one sign of education is a person's ability to question. Remember that forever. And I think after I finish this series about love, I think I'm going to do series on questioning. The ability to question is the number one evidence
Yes.
of education.
Yeah, and I remember now Jesus, you know, when he was 12 years old and he was in the temple, the place where they can get educated.
religion, yeah.
And what happened? You know, because of his questions, the people was amazing. Wow, how wise he is.
Jesus was not recognized because of his religiosity or because of his spirituality,
Yeah.
but because of his questions.
Yeah. Yo, and you know, and they said you are very wise. Why? He didn't answer on their questions. He asked them, and with this way,
The ability to question.
Yeah, he shows them his level of education. You know, yeah. This is so. Yeah, the system. Don't be. We need to be like understand. Is not like the system of education that today exists in the world is the.
So not degree, not
yeah.
because education system in the world is just to make you slave, to come and be managers and to serve the system.
Yeah.
It's slavery.
Yeah.
But we are talking about mental development.
Yeah. Mental development, yes. And we have to have mind of Christ.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So number one evidence of education. Everyone has to remember this. Number one evidence and the strongest evidence of education is the ability to question. Question everything. Question God, question religion, question pastors, question parents, question society, question bishops, question. Ask questions everywhere. That is your first education, first evidence of being educated. The ability to ask questions. There is no greater evidence of education. So if you have a country of 1 million people or 10 million or 100 million people or 200 million people that all have university education, that all have degrees, first degree, second degree, third degree, but they are not taught to question or to ask questions, they are not educated. Nobody in that country is educated.
Wow. Maybe about God is the same. Many people come to God because they see miracles, and they think automatically, "Oh, I believe in God because He did miracles."
Because I saw miracles.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, but I believe that truly people who believe in God and came to Him is people who was asking questions. Why did I live? Why I live?
Who is God?
Who is God? Why am I this earth?
Yeah.
What is the sense of my life?
Yeah.
This is the people who are looking for truth.
Yeah.
They are asking questions also.
Yeah.
Even this.
That, for example, for what you just said, to confirm what you just said, nobody nobody will ever get to know God without asking questions about how to know Him. It is only the question of how to know Him doesn't even come to your mind because of religion. The whole aspect of religion, the whole thing about religion is for you not to ask questions.
Wow, yeah, but, oh.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. And sometimes people don't ask, just believe.
Yeah.
Don't ask, just believe.
That is what religion does for you.
Listen, pastor, just obey pastor.
Yeah.
If
you ask questions, then you are bad.
Oh.
But in God, in real Christianity and in real freedom, society, education, the real way you can know God. Even Jesus himself, as 12 years old, when he went to the temple, he was not just listening.
Wow.
Yeah, he was not just listening and obeying. When Jesus went to the temple, he was only asking questions.
Yeah. We need to regain our lost years in the church, pastor. We need to quickly regain our
Especially in Africa.
Oh. Yeah, but we are going to church and we're sitting and yeah.
Listen,
and
just
listening, and after listening, wow. And we think that, okay, this is what we have to do.
No, that is religion that does that.
Wow.
So anywhere they tell you not to ask questions, what you get is North Korea. Yes. You get communism.
Wow.
You get, that is not kingdom of God. That is communism. In kingdom of God, God said, come, let us reason together. Let us reason together. Bring your questions. Let us reason together. Ask me, and I will tell you.
Wow.
Ask me, and I will reveal to you. That's God saying that. Even in the Old Testament, when they didn't want to mention his name, he'll say, ask me, you ask me. Don't stop.
Ask me.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
let's
ask
have
me.
it.
And yes.
Wow.
But anywhere where they stop you from asking questions, the kingdom of God works out.
Wow.
So if you go to a church where they say, don't ask questions, just believe, just obey. Holy Spirit takes and turns out and goes. God the Father takes and goes. But you still have religion, so you'll be thinking God is still there, but he has gone. Anywhere where people stop asking questions, God works out. Holy Ghost. Because that, for you to say, you don't ask questions, that means you stop. You said, Holy Spirit, shut up, go out. Because Holy Spirit is the spirit of, where the Spirit of God is, there is freedom. There is liberty. Liberty, yeah. So once you stop people to ask questions, liberty stops. Freedom stops.
Yeah. Question is a part of liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is not just part of
Yeah.
liberty. It is the whole evidence or manifestation of liberty. It is the whole essence of liberty. Liberty starts in the ability to begin to think. Because you cannot have liberty without thinking.
Yeah.
Your liberty starts with thinking. And thinking is starting by questioning.
This is like in Soviet Union.
Yes.
No questions.
Communism. That's why there was no God.
Yeah.
So when the Soviet Union said no questioning, God walked out. The same in church. When North Korea said no questioning, God walks out. So the same in church. When Cuba said no questioning, God walks out. That's why everywhere where there's totalitarian, they said no questioning, there will be no religion or no God. Because there is no liberty. God himself says where there is God, there is liberty. Where the Spirit of God is, there is liberty. God has not given us the spirit of fear, but he has given us the spirit of power, freedom, love.
No. Well,
The first thing
we will
God...
be free.
Wait. The first thing God gave to man is freedom.
Yeah, in Adam.
In the Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
The first thing God gave to man is Eden.
And big freedom.
Is freedom.
He just
Do
was walking
anything you want.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
let's walk.
Let's
together.
walk, yeah.
And after even God,
Eat everything, anything. Take anything. So God is freedom. If God didn't give freedom in the Garden of Eden, then God was not there.
Wow.
Anywhere they don't give freedom, God is not there. But it starts with the freedom to think and freedom to question. I'm going to do a series on questioning. And I'm going to do it like for 3 months, maybe like this also. Maybe 2-3 months like love. Just for you to know how important it is. So, the ability to question is the number one important evidence, the number one prove that you're a human being. Not just that you are educated, but that you are a human being. That's why children, when they have not been conditioned, they have not been gagged, and children, they always do one thing.
Question.
Ah!
Why is this why this yellow?
Why are you
this
black?
this? Yeah,
Why is your
black?
hair like this?
Yeah.
Because, and God, you know what God said? He wants all of us to be like children.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you cannot,
Curiosity was killed.
yeah, because if you cannot ask questions, you cannot be like children.
Wow.
Yeah. So you cannot know God without asking questions. You want to, it's like you want to talk.
Yeah.
She's full inside.
Okay, Master.
She's, no, you hang around too. Yeah, hang around, don't go. She's full.
Oh my God.
What are you hearing today?
I'm hearing that when you said God is giving us freedom, gave us freedom as the first thing that He gave the human, it actually, for me, I see self-discovery in this. Because if I'm able to ask, if I'm able to question, I discover myself as well. Because I make a self-inventory. I look at what is going on in myself, what is going on in my thought process, what is going on in my mind, in my emotions, and I try to picture it, and then I bring it out. So questioning allows me to do that inventory of self and to understand myself, to understand where am I, and what is happening around me, and what does that tell me about myself. But if we don't do this, we don't even have the privilege of understanding ourselves. And in church, what we are being told is you don't question also because it's a sign of doubt. It's a sign of doubting God, and it's a sign of doubting the man of God, doubting the Bible, doubting the truth that you're hearing in church.
But God is saying the opposite. He
Yeah.
said, ask. What was the difference between the disciples of Jesus and the crowd that were following Jesus? What is the difference?
They were always asking questions about everything.
Yes.
What was the difference?
Yeah,
Oh,
the
it's
crowd
asking
just was
questions.
sitting and hearing stories.
Say it again.
The people,
The crowd
just was sitting and hearing the stories that Jesus said.
No question.
And after they
They went home.
and after they came again another day to hear about another interesting story.
And the miracles.
Yeah,
Yes.
miracles.
But what did the disciples?
Disciples, their talk was, or Jesus asked them question and they
They-
were thinking.
they
and-
asked
or
all the
they,
time.
Yeah,
All the time.
or they
What
was
do you
asking.
mean by that? What did happen? What does that parable mean? What did happen?
And actually, Jesus was replying.
Yeah.
He was replying, and he was
He was
trying to
always
paint the
just
picture.
answering their questions.
Yes. And I always ask.
That is what Christianity means.
Yeah.
Even before Christianity, God was saying ask questions. Now, what the whole life of Jesus, like 50% of his whole life is about answering questions.
Wow.
So churches should be built about people asking questions and answering.
Yeah.
Pastors should all build their own ministry about that.
God.
Not just about talking monologue. You do that only with crowd.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're getting it.
Yes.
So
Yeah? Because without questioning, you will never know God. Knowing and understanding God. I'm going to do it. Knowing and understanding God through questioning. I'm going to do that next time. Because, do you know what? Let me tell you another thing.
yeah.
Do you know questioning, asking questions is more important than to believe in God? Asking questions. Asking questions is more important than believing in God. Asking questions is more important than faith in God. Just for you to know how important this subject is. In fact, I think I have to do a series after I finish this love series.
Yeah, I think now many people is thinking
Are confused.
Yeah, they are
confused a
confused.
little bit.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
are
Yeah,
confused?
but yeah, maybe, yeah.
Okay, maybe
Because
I
they
should
didn't-
let them write me if they are confused. Let them say they said it's hard teaching.
Yeah.
What is hard about it?
Yeah.
This is supposed to be easy. If you think it's hard, what I said about asking questions is more important than having faith in God, then you ask me, you tell me, ask me to explain. If you ask me to explain, I'm going to explain. So you ask me the question. Okay, somebody said he's confused.
Yeah.
Okay, people are saying, okay, if you are confused, then I will explain to you. Oh, most people are saying they are confused.
Confused. Yeah.
You think so? They are confused?
Yeah. Yes, of course, because it sounds like a paradox. Actually, it sounds like if this is more important, but
It's more important than faith in God. Asking questions.
yeah, but because the Bible says you have to believe, you have to have faith in God,
Yeah.
and faith in Christ, which
Yeah.
is what
Which
brings
is true.
you
Which is
to
true.
the Father, and what brings you to heaven.
Which is
and-
true.
So how can this be less important than asking
It's
questions?
more important. Yeah, it's more important to ask questions than to have faith in. To
Yeah.
just have faith in
I
God.
understand why the people is confused because they're hearing many years about faith in God, and never was, and they was never hearing about questions and importance of questions. This is why the people now is confused. Because of course, if you 10, 20 years of your life hearing about faith of God, you know, for
Faith
you,
in God, faith in
is
God.
more important things. How you can tell now that something is more important of this?
But also, not just more important, it is actually something that is supposed to be bad. Questioning is bad. So, you know, it's not just that's important, it's bad. It shouldn't
Let me tell you, questioning. Without questioning, you will never be fulfilled in life. Without questioning, you will never become who you are supposed to become in life. You will remain like a crowd. Now, let me now tell people who are confused why asking question is more important. Somebody say, I'm sure DSA just came from his solitude. as if this is a new revelation.
No,
I
I
didn't.
No.
But I've already
I know,
taught
I
you
know.
already know. I already taught them. You know, it's not a new revelation for me. Only we got to talk about it. That's
We
it.
spoke about it before.
Yeah. And you know what? You know, the more you listen to DSA, the more you discover that it's coming from solitude.
Yeah. All of it is coming from solitude.
Yeah, that always new things. We have something new to learn the more you listen. But let me tell you why faith in God, you know, is not as important as asking questions. And why asking questions is more important than faith in God. Not just asking God questions, but asking question itself, just by itself. Not even asking question itself, not even asking God question. But asking question itself is more important than faith in God. Number one, if you want to know, number one reason. Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to know that, I'm going to say, number one reason why asking question is more important than believing in God is because if you don't ask questions, you are going to believe in the God that somebody tells you about. First of all, if you don't ask questions, if you don't know how to ask questions, you are going to be a Christian just because you are born in a Christian home. And then you are going to be a Muslim because you are born in a Muslim home. You know why most Muslims are today Muslims? Because they don't ask questions. You know why most Hindus are today are Hindus? Because they don't ask questions. You know why most Buddhists today are Buddhists? Because they don't have questions. They don't ask questions. They remain where they put them. You know why most people in churches in Nigeria today are religious? And why they don't know God? Because they don't ask questions. So, for example, if I don't ask questions and the Nigerian Christians say, this is the way to be a Christian, like the Nigerian Christian, I will become a Christian like that. Go to church every Sunday or twice a day, a week, 3 times a week. If you don't ask questions, you will die thinking you are a believer, but you are not a believer, you are just religious. If you don't ask questions, they will tell you that the man of God should not be questioned. They will brainwash you and you will be brainwashed. You will think you are a Christian, you will not know you are going to hell. They will tell you, if you don't ask questions, they will tell you that you don't have to wear earrings. You know, you have to wear something there. This is what it means to be Christian and go to church every time. Yeah, you don't ask questions, you will die being deceived. You will never become who you're supposed to become. But let me tell you what is even more important. If you don't ask questions, they will tell you, take a weapon and go and kill the headsmen, the Fulani headsmen, and all your enemies, and you will kill them. You have become a murderer right there in the church, thinking that you are a Christian, but you are going to hell. If you don't ask questions, they will tell you that your enemy is the witches and wizards, and you have the right to kill them before they kill you. And you will become a murderer right there in the church. Before you came to church, you were not a murderer, but because you don't ask questions, you don't ask questions. You came to church, now you became a murderer. Before you came to church, you were not suspecting your relatives. You were in good relationship with your relatives. But because you don't ask questions, now you are no more in relationship with your relatives. Because you don't ask questions, you become a murderer, you become a hater, you become a suspicious person just because you don't ask questions. Now let me tell you another thing. Why asking questions is more important than faith in God. Have you ever heard of the terrorists, the Muslim terrorists, that blew up the 9/11, tower, the Trade Tower? That do the ISIS? Have you ever heard of ISIS? Al Qaeda? Have you ever heard of Al Qaeda? You know they are believers in God, in their own God, because they don't question. Is that the right God? Is a loving God? Is God? Can God ask people to do this? Because they've been taught like that, they don't question. It is lack of question that made them to become terrorists. Christians also, many of them have become terrorists because they don't question. Will a loving God say I should go and kill my enemy? Will a loving God go and say I should go and kill witches and wizards? Will a loving God? People don't question. So terrorists are not just in the Muslim. Terrorists are in churches all over Africa. Just because they don't question that, can God, who is love, can God, who is good, can God, religion itself is a product of lack of question. People become religious because they become captives of religion because they don't have questions. They don't ask questions. So therefore, you could say, this is God. Muslims say this is God. Hindus say this is God. Christians say this is God. Even with Christians, the Catholics say this is God. Protestants say this is God. Baptists say this is God. Methodists say this is God. Pentecostals say this is God. Even among Pentecostals, this one say, I'm the one who's right. TB Joshua says he's the one who is right. Yeah. TB Joshua said, I'm the one who is right. Then Ibadebo said, I'm the one. Then David said he's the one. Oyakilome said he's the one. So how do you know where to go, who is right? The only thing that could save you is to ask questions. That's why Jesus, the first thing he did, and the first thing God told us about Jesus, after he became grown up, when he was not a toddler. We knew Jesus only as a toddler. But when we began to discover Jesus as growing up, the first thing that was recorded, the first recorded act of Jesus is asking questions. Nothing is more important than asking questions. Before Jesus preached, he asked questions. Before Jesus healed, he asked questions. Before Jesus was released into the ministry at 30 years old, he was asking questions. He started asking questions at 12, but he only entered into the ministry at 30. 16 years difference. 16 years later.
Wow.
Yeah, that's true. You read it. It's true.
Yes,
it's written there.
Before he even serving people, he asked him.
Yes, before he served, before he became a minister, he was asking questions.
What do you want or something?
Because that is the only way, to discover God. Even the miracles that Jesus did, when he wanted to do miracles, he would ask the people questions. What do you want that God will do for you?
Yeah.
Woman, what is your problem? Why are you crying? What happened? Questions. Nothing is more important than the questions. God created us that way. It's more important than in God. Believe in God. Because if you don't ask questions, you will believe in the wrong God. If you don't ask questions, you will believe in the wrong God. You will even be insulting God, thinking you are believing. Okay, for example, when you are cursing your enemy and killing your enemy, you are insulting God. You are abusing God. You are fighting against God's nature. You are turning your back at God, but you will be thinking that you are doing the right thing. You will be thinking that you are the most zealous follower of God because you don't ask questions. You will be doing things that is hurting and harming God, thinking that you are doing what is right. And believe me, this is true. This is what is happening all over African churches. I tell you.
Yeah, I remember I think Jesus said that people will kill you because they will think they serve God.
Yes. Because they don't ask questions. They will think they serve God.
And I was thinking, how it could happen? You believe in God and you do this.
Yeah.
Because
they don't ask questions.
Wow.
It's like you are stunned.
Oh my God. I also think that it shows that if people don't ask questions, it's because they are afraid that what they don't know will be exposed instead of going for what they don't know.
That is why I want to do a whole series. Don't throw me there yet. I'm going to be dealing with that. But just for you to at least know that it is more important to ask questions than to believe in God. It is more because you believe in the wrong God if you don't ask the right question. If you don't ask questions and you just believe in God, you will be doing the wrong things, thinking you are serving God. If you don't ask, if you don't ask questions and you just believe in God, you will believe what anybody will tell you about God. If you don't ask questions, people will lead you astray. If you don't ask questions and you believe in God, you will be thinking that you are serving God, but you will be messing up. But even not only that, you should also know that to ask questions is more important than to marry. Never you marry until you understand the importance of questions. And it is more important to ask questions than to have children. Never you think of having children until you know how to ask questions. And you to know the questions to ask.
So this means that asking
questions. There's nothing more important in this world than asking questions. It's more important than believing in God because you believe in the wrong God. Look at the whole world now. The whole majority of people in the world, they are believing in the wrong God. Christians are only 2/3. The rest are just messed up because they have just believed what they told them without asking questions. You go and look at the statistics.
Yeah, you're right.
It's true.
Yes, I understand it. Yeah, we have to think more about this.
But the whole thing why I'm talking about question is because so what are they writing? Somebody is writing here. DSA, please change your nationality and become a Cameroonian. Please come to Cameroon. Nigerians don't want you. Come to Cameroon. We want you in Cameroon. But I was told that in Australia, Australians told me that, New Zealanders told me that, Americans told me that Norwegians told me that I should change my nationality and come there. Japanese told me that I should change my nationality and come there. Mexicans told me that I should change my nationality and come there. But, I'm a slave only. I've got to do what God wants. Yeah. But questions are important because without questions, you will never know God. Questions are important to knowing God. If you don't ask questions, forget. If you are not an expert in asking questions, don't even think you want to know God.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you don't ask questions, I already know that you don't know God.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I already know that you don't know God. You are just religious. If you don't ask questions, you will never be able to understand God.
Yes. How I can understand something if I didn't ask questions?
Yeah. Only people who ask find.
Wow.
And when Jesus was saying, ask and it shall be given to you, it doesn't mean for problems.
Yeah.
He's asking for knowledge. So when he say ask and it shall be given to you, seek and you shall find, knock it shall be open. He's not talking about blessings. But in most Christians today, they think that means ask for blessings. No, that's not what Jesus was talking about.
So,
he was saying ask for questions. Like he was asking questions when he was in the temple.
Wow.
So when he says ask, he's saying ask for knowledge, ask to get things. Maybe things too, but not the things, those are not too important for him. He's asking you to ask for things that are important, things that are eternal, things that are invincible, things that are of eternal value. Ask to discover God. Knock to discover God. Seek to discover God. Ask. These are the things to ask. Not for blessings, not for bread and butter, not just for physical material things.
Paganism.
Yeah, that's paganism asking, because he already said don't ask for that.
Yeah.
That those people who ask for those material things, they are pagans, they are the Gentiles. So when he is saying ask, he's talking about something else. He's talking about asking like he was asking.
So when I ask question, God, this shows him that I seek him.
Yeah.
I seek him.
That is
not because I pray and do.
No.
But
When you
because I
ask
question,
you seek God.
I seek God.
It proves that
I
you want to
understand
know
him
God.
better.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
That's how he reveals himself.
That's how he reveals himself.
That's why all these researchers and people who are always trying to find answers.
That is why they are the ones who are discovering.
Yeah.
So that's what I was trying to say, that any society is based on two things. Education. Any education is based on two things. I'm just giving you one now.
About ability to ask.
Ability to ask questions. Because that leads to research. And research leads to discovery. So people like Steve Jobs, what was it? Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, they are people of questions every minute. Elon Musk, he always asking questions. That's why they lead them to research. That's why, anything that the biggest evil religion has done to Africa is that religion has told Africans not to ask questions.
Wow.
If we could take away religion and make people to ask questions, we will become the first world.
Yes.
Only one thing, ask questions.
Asking questions.
Because in fact, let me tell you another thing. Listen closely. Our whole civilization is based on questions. Okay, for example, there is something they call Renaissance, or the Enlightenment, the time of Enlightenment, Renaissance. And there is something they call Protestant Reformation. So Protestant Reformation happened, then the Renaissance happened. So one leads to the other, right? It's connected. Okay. The greatest achievement of Renaissance or Enlightenment and the Reformation is the freedom for people to question. And once that, because before then, what was happening in Europe and the whole world was what they call the Dark Ages. And the reason for the Dark Ages is because you cannot ask questions. Have you heard of Inquisition?
Yes. Oh.
Because if you question, you are killed. Don't question the system. Don't question the Pope. Don't question it. That was when Catholic Church was using religion to rule all of Europe. When religion was ruling Europe, Europe was a dark continent. Now Africa is a dark continent because religion is ruling Africa. Whenever religion, not God, but religion is ruling, that place becomes dark. Because I told you, whenever people are stopped from asking questions, God walks out. God just walks out. The path is low and go. Light goes. Because without question, there is no light. There is no light. And when there is no light, there is darkness. So when the church, the Catholic Church in Europe was ruling, it brought dark, they call it dark age. Because they didn't allow people to ask questions. If you ask questions, they will say Inquisition, they will kill you. So because of that lack of questions, darkness came. But the greatest revolution, enlightenment, and what do I call it? Renaissance is the ability to make people to ask questions again. Once they began to ask questions, all the invention started. Because questions lead to research. Research leads to discovery.
Discovery.
Then 95% of all discovery in the world came from Europe. Because they were now asking questions.
Wow.
The same thing must happen in Africa. The religion that is stopping people from asking questions has brought darkness all over Africa now. So we must now stop the religion from, controlling and begin to encourage people to ask questions. That's why I did the plague of silence. And that's why I did all paganism, syncretism, to give people boldness to ask questions, to talk. So once we could bring that back to our society, then it will lead to research. But we've got to teach, but any civilization is, the real civilization, our current civilization right now, is based on two things. One is the ability to ask questions. Because that civilization will lead to, asking questions will lead to research. Research will lead to discovery. Discovery will lead to industrialization. Industrialization leads to civilization. Development leads to civilization. So without that, we are doomed. That's and this is one of the greatest things that church is supposed to be teaching. Church is supposed to be teaching this thing I'm talking about. Giving people the freedom and the liberty to ask questions, at least for God's sake. At least to know God, for people to get to know God. For example, Islam will never progress. I tell you that. Islam will never progress until Islam will never progress like they did before until they also have their own revolution, renaissance. Because in most Islamic countries, where religion doesn't ask people, like Iran, they don't ask you to, they could only come to get technology from the West, the Westerners come to build it, but they will never progress. Because wherever questions stop, darkness comes. So killing people, that is darkness. Terrorism, going to bomb, that's darkness. Making women to cover them, that's darkness. Not allow women to drive, that's darkness. Until they begin to allow people to bring questions, that would never be the civilization there and development. Believe me, it's true. The second thing that every civilization must be based on, apart from questioning, is everybody. If you want to, let me tell people, parents, this. If you have children, or you want to have children, or you want to marry, the greatest thing you could give to your children are two things. Or if you have given them that, you have given them the best education. Every education is supposed to be based on this thing. And every civilization is supposed to be based on this thing. So if you give those two things to your children, you have given them the best education. They will be better than any university. They will be, they will go to university and reign. They will go to any society and rule. They will be they will be walking through life as people with open eyes. Two things. One, the ability to ask questions. Two, and any society must be given these two things too. The ability to ask questions, and number two, you must teach, because only when this first thing, what happened was, there was Renaissance, they brought their freedom to ask questions. Number two, God gave the world Sir Isaac Newton. And what did he bring? He brought a principle. And the principle says that life and the whole society, and that is why England was the number one industrial country in the world, because of Sir Isaac Newton. What did he bring? He brought the principle of cause and effect. Life functions only by cause and effect. God brought him. God sent him. Because the whole world had been functioning like that before. But nobody understood it. They just thought God takes decision every day. But the whole universe, the whole world, the whole earth is based on the laws of cause and effect. And it was Sir Isaac Newton that brought it. So it was when he came, it was about the same time. Freedom came first. Then Isaac Newton came. So there was, first of all, the freedom to ask questions, questioning. which led to research,
discovery,
industrialization, development, and civilization. So that was one was solved. Then when he came with cause and effect, that everything in life is based on cause and effect. You cannot expect, before then, the old church world, Catholic church, everybody was teaching people that God brings everything. God bless. Just like in Africa now we are doing. You have to pray to God to bring something, to bless. If you want to live economically prosperous, ask God to bring you prosperity. If you want to be healthy, ask God to give you. If you want to have anything, pray to God and fast. They didn't know. The whole world didn't know this. That no, the whole world functions by the law of do something, cause and effect. If there is no cause, there will be no effect. Everything remains stable. Everything remains static until somebody comes and cause something to happen. So that law, as simple as it is, led to massive industrialization. Because you now begin to discuss, so if you don't build industries, you mean economy will not grow. It will not go. You mean if you don't do this, will not? So those things people are doing in church, you can pray in church for many hours or many days, many fast, but until they begin to build their road, the road will not become good. Until they begin to have road instruction, red light, yellow light, accident will be happening. Until they begin to build hospital, miracle, people will be dying, You have cause, and you've got to do everything yourself. God has given the earth to man. God is in heaven, but he has given us one. In this earth, na cause and effect. It is what you work for that you get. It is what you sow that you will get. If you say you go and have children, you don't go to hospital to go and fix it, and you are just pray, you will pray for long. Go and find out the cause, then the effect will be able to come out.
Wow, Pastor, I just think, I will not change this course that you're doing now in any other course in universities.
Yes,
because it takes so many things.
Yeah, because many people go to university. I mean, I have seen people here in Ukraine here, all these people. You ask your sister, Dr. Sufficient, whatever. I told her that, did you go to school? She said she went to school. I said, what? She said I was the best in school. How can you be? I thought they were not educated at all of them that I met. All people that I meet, it's like they don't go to school. Joshua, I told you, did you go to school? Did you finish high school? You went to primary school? He said, yes. He said, I finished university. I said, what? We finished what? And they all Amara, they are finishing university medicine, and they don't know anything about life because they have not been taught to most important thing in life. So people have job, people have diploma, degree, certificate just to get job and become slaves. But not to become, because what sets you free from slavery is the ability to think and question. And questioning leads to thinking. And that's how you set yourself free from slavery. Yeah. But when you know cause and effect, you will never wait for anything to happen, for anybody to do anything for you.
Yeah.
You become the owner of your life.
Yeah, only these two things that you said now can change Africa forever.
Forever. Yes. Those two things are the basis of education. They are the basis of civilization. So if you can teach your children those two things, you said you could change Africa. Explain to them.
Yeah.
Those two things.
So the two things that we heard now, the first thing is the most two important things in our life is first ability to ask questions, to ask about everything. Ability to ask everything from knowing God, understanding God, to everything in your life. And the second is the principle of cause and effect. So nothing can happen in life, cannot happen if there is no cause. So something has to be pushed, and then only will be response. Something will became. So, and knowing these two principles, you can understand why religion cannot bring a solution, because in religion world you just pray knowing that God have to do everything. So And if you can live like this all your life, and after, or you will ask where the God is, because nothing happened.
And you'll be angry at God.
Yeah, you will be angry in God. So religion even kill faith in God.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
You know.
It does the opposite.
Yeah, became slave people, and after when people is in slavery, after they want to be maybe free, and
Religion kills faith in God. Yeah.
Yeah. So and these two things can change. If these two things will change our mindset, and we will improve these things, asking questions, because we need to learn now to ask questions. People need to learn to ask questions. Because when you ask questions, you're going to research.
Yeah.
You are after you will discovering things. You can only discovering something because of searching.
Yeah.
So after you discovering, you start to use it like in industrial.
Yeah.
So create it. Yeah, you need to create it something new. Invention came, and this is why we have civilization after. So if we want better life, civilization in our country, so we need to start asking questions. Asking questions, and this is not like if you are waiting miracle that something happened just like this.
You'll be waiting for so long.
Yeah, you will waiting for years, and you just you will lost your time, your years. So let's start asking questions, searching, discovering, create innovations, and we will bring civilization, light, with this way.
Yeah.
And Jesus said, "You are light." So, what means you are light to this world? This means that you start ask questions, searching, discovering knowledge, invention, and you bring light.
Yeah.
So it's not because you pray and you preach about God, the light will come on. You understand? So because there is the second thing, principle of cause and effect. So you need to push, you need to act, you need to start to do. And here is these topics about you need to be workaholic, you need to work on yourself, you need to
all my books,
learn,
you see?
to sit in library 3-6 hours, read. You need to read also because you need to search. Yeah.
Oh God! It also shows me how important it is to ask, because you said you also have to ask the right questions. So instead of, for example, asking who, people will start to ask what.
Ask what.
So they're going to understand what is happening and how can we solve this. And then when they go to the principle of cause and effect, they will understand that because you have to do something to get a product, they will start creating.
In cause and effect, there is no who.
Yes.
It's only what.
Yes.
In research, there is no who, only what.
And they will create systems that will be built on cause
Industries.
and effect. Yeah. They will try. They will
solutions.
Exactly. They will find solutions to the problems that they have. And instead of complaining and saying, why is the government not doing anything? Why is this person not doing anything? They will realize that because I am not doing anything, nothing is happening.
Yep.
And for example,
no blame game.
Yes.
Yeah. Why people said that poverty? This is why the Africa is not developed. But it's not true, because poverty is darkness.
Yeah.
And why is darkness there? Because there is
no
no light.
Yeah.
There is no light. Why is darkness? Because people didn't ask questions.
Yeah.
So if you stop people to ask questions, from
bring
there,
darkness.
Yeah, never light will be there. So yeah, it's right. We need to start to ask questions and searching, discovering, and and poverty just. When light will come, darkness will disappear.
Yeah.
So,
that was the dark age in Europe disappeared.
Yeah. So
enlightenment came.
Yeah.
That's why they call it enlightenment. What do I call it? Renaissance means enlightenment. It's the age of enlightenment.
Yeah. This is why just to solve problem of poverty, starting from asking questions.
Yeah.
So, and this is
Every
churches,
problem.
pastors need,
To teach people.
yeah, to start to do this. I don't know if they will start.
I will start.
Yeah, you started,
I've
but you know,
started.
yeah. But this is you started to do it, and you know, you gave this light. This is why people come, you know, in this platform
And
and
they see
you know,
here.
yeah.
And
So
do you
the
know
light-
they also discover truth because of that.
Yeah.
And
It
that's
is
how
the-
you-
that's why I said don't just believe in. That's why I said it's more important than believe in God.
Yeah.
Because you just believe in God because someone that's not your truth yet. You only discover your truth when you ask questions. It becomes your God.
Yeah.
It becomes your truth. Otherwise, you just believe. When you just believe in God, then you are blind. But when you know Him, then you are not blind. You recognize it. Just like you say, I know you. The same with God. Belief is like belief. But knowing is more important. And knowing comes from asking questions.
And it becomes personal too. It's
It
not going to
becomes,
be.
when you know it becomes personal. When you
Yeah.
understand, it's even become more intimate.
Yeah, and when we ask questions,
And
we are not-
that's why you say, so how can faith, everybody's saying faith. How can that be more important? How can asking questions be more important than that? Now you understand, because asking questions takes you higher than blindly believing.
yeah, without
Makes it
question, we make blind people.
Blind people.
Yeah.
We make people blind without question. But when you begin to ask questions, people, instead of just believing like that, they know.
Yeah.
And they know why they believe. They understand how God operates. They are not just growing in faith. It's the same thing. You know, some people, there is a school of thought that most people actually, they marry, just like marriage. Most people marry because somebody says, I love you. But I am going to write a book. I wrote it already in Russian, but I need to translate it to English that says, it is only foolish people that fall in love. Because when you fall in love, it's like you believe him. He tells you, "Oh, I am I'm Prince Prince Sham. I came. Oh, you are beautiful. I like you. I'm Prince Sham. I'm this and this and this." And you believe. That's like believing like in God. That's like falling in love. You just blindly. But you need to find out about it. You need to do research and ask questions about his background. Who was his girlfriend? Who was the former wife? What did they say? You need to talk to the former girlfriend. Talk to the former wife. What did they think about him? Talk to his environment, his friends, his people who know him. Talk to his, go through his Facebook page. Know his history. You'll say, "Oh, I will not do that. If I do that, I will lose him." Then okay. Just be blind through life. It's okay for you. Why? It's not good?
It's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. People say. Oh my gosh. Even people who are not religious would say, "Oh, this is going too far."
Well, that's what they want. Let them
Yeah,
go be
they
blind.
rather want to stay blind,
Good.
rather not get hurt, rather not
Good.
look at the wrong stuff or things that they
Good.
can't control.
Good. But when you know, it's a different level.
Yeah.
The second principle will work.
Yeah.
They don't want to act, or
Yeah.
they act.
Then
not their-
you don't live in darkness,
Right.
dark age. No
Yeah.
cause and effect.
Wow.
No knowing, no understanding. You just live with him in crisis. And every day you'll be discovering new things because you didn't ask questions. Every day you'll be having new husband. Every day new husband. Every day new husband. Is it like this? I didn't know. Is it like this? Oh, why did you behave like that? I didn't know. It was so nice before. Because you didn't ask questions.
But
Because you
even
believe stories.
Yeah. But even asking those questions and then trying to understand,
No, don't ask those questions just from him. Because some girls, what do? They ask the questions from the boy himself.
Yeah.
And he will just tell them stories that they want to hear. You need to ask questions from the world.
Asking questions, research.
Yeah, research.
It means I go to mom,
Yeah.
father,
Then
to
research
brother, to
leads to
friends,
discovering.
Facebook, everywhere.
Everywhere.
And after you will discover.
Yeah.
And after you will take decisions.
Decision. So you are taking an informed decision.
Oh,
Then that knowledge is what's informed you.
yeah.
So to believe in God, the reason why we have church and faith in God to go to church is because we want to know Him, not just be blind. Go to church because you want to know God, want to understand Him. That's what God wants. That's why Jesus was answering all the questions of the disciples. So today's topic, we're going to change the title to Knowing and Understanding God. Purely, just like that. Or maybe we should call it How.
To know and understand God.
Yeah, how to know God.
To know God.
How to know God. I think we should open the line for questions. Or you want to say some more things? I think we should open the line for questions, and you can, well, not for questions, for comments. So you could go to Facebook Messenger, Facebook Messenger, go to Facebook Messenger and tell us that you want to contribute. We want to hear your contributions, contributions. Yeah, let us, just go to Facebook Messenger, Move Agents, Facebook Messenger, Move Agents, and we'll be able to hear of your own contribution.
Related to the topic.
That in relation to the topic, in relation to today's topic, you must have heard what we are discussing, so that you'll be able to contribute. I'm sorry, today's we are supposed to have another topic today, but we'll do that tomorrow. Okay. So today is just like impromptu. Maybe thank God. God wanted it to be like that. It is thanks to you also a little bit.
Okay.
Hello.
Hello. Good afternoon, dear family.
Oh, William, you are disappeared though.
I don't disappear. I always come in late.
Okay. Now glad to hear from you. What is your contribution today?
In fact, it was the last topic that caught my attention.
Okay.
That is, if a woman wants to get to marry, she needs to ask questions.
Well, the question that catches our attention is normally the one where we are in right now, or where we need answer for.
In fact, I believe question matters a lot.
Okay.
And it also helps in terms of relationship. Because as a man, if you answer every question regarding your past, there will be no surprises in the future.
Yes.
As you know, DSA, I'm getting married very soon.
You see?
I'm telling you, there is nothing, no woman I've dated in the past that my wife today doesn't know about.
You see?
Everything.
Now I know why it's the last one that you picked out of all the things we discussed tonight.
Everything about the past. There's nothing I've done she doesn't know.
Yes.
Nothing I've done she doesn't know. I have no secrets. So when you are talking about a question, I saw some comment on the comment section that said, yes. Every question needs an answer. And in some churches, some pastors have put some people in bondage. Like the church I was before, I always make reference because if somebody has gone through a topic you are discussing, there's always a good reference point. Hello?
Yeah.
So when I finish. Can you hear me? Yes. Yeah, because in GRA, you can never ask questions. But I was a stubborn man. The man knows me. I always ask questions. He will say no question. And moreover, a church that you don't have a Bible study, there is no room for interaction. In GRA, there is no interaction. Everything comes from the altar. And that builds room for bondage and manipulation. Wow. Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So that's just my contribution that questions help a lot, especially in relationship, and every question must be answered. Thank you, DSC.
Why are you not talking now? Yeah. Still, I'm not available. Just go ahead and tell them that we're expecting the next call.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, guys. I want to change, and everybody is quiet. And
Hello?
the people are going to think I disappear. Yeah, continue. Hello?
Yeah, good evening, sir. Good evening, dear sir. This is Christian calling from London.
Yes, Christian. Hi.
I'm fine, sir. The topic today has been, honestly, mind-boggling and eye-opening. Question. I just want to share a brief testimony of how important question can be. Because for me personally, question is one of the things that have actually cemented my faith in God.
Wow.
If not for the questions I asked when I was a young believer just growing up, I don't think I will remain I'll still be in Christianity today, based on the things that I've seen. But every time I had a cause to doubt my faith, it might take me back to what happened when I was only 16. Then I just finished school, and because I read science in school, and in science, we were taught one of the laws that matter, the definition of matter, that matter is anything that has weight and occupies space. And as a young man, I came back home one day, and I was like, really, if matter is anything that has weight and occupies space, and God, like I've read in the Bible, God is a spirit, right? The Bible says the glory of God, which is it translated the weight of God. I said, definitely God must be occupying some space. So the question I started asking was, Lord, tell me, if truly you are God and you exist, what space were you occupying before you created it? Because we are told that God created everything. In my naiveness or in my limited knowledge, I was asking that question.
Yeah.
And it became so serious that one day I was all alone at home. I went out, I laid down on the floor, and I was looking up to the sky, and I was demanding, I said, God, you have to answer this question because I want to know, what space were you occupying if you were the one who created space? So what space were you occupying before you created it? So I was asking, and it got to a point after about 1 hour, 30 minutes, I determined, I said, I must get an answer. And in my heart, I said, if I don't get an answer, then I'll just conclude that God does not exist. Because if God exists, he must be a speaking God.
Yeah.
He must be a hearing God. So he must be hearing me now, and should be able to speak to me. And I was there for about 2 hours, 45 minutes. I insisted that I needed an answer. Then when it got to a point whereby I was like becoming tired, I said, okay, let me just leave it. I think I will just conclude that there is no God. As I got up to walk indoors for the first time in my life, dear say, I heard the audible voice of God.
Wow.
And he spoke to me. I was shocked. What he told me, I've never read it from any book as of that time. I've never heard any preacher preach it. And he said, my son, he said, I do not live in space, but space lives in me. He said, everything that you see today came out of me. That was the word. I will never forget that word for word.
It is very clear that
every time
it is God. It is only God who can do that to you.
Yeah. Every time I relate, it's like the picture is coming back to me. I can relive that moment again. As I'm saying it now, I can still remember where I was. I can remember everything, what I was putting on.
Can you now imagine?
That's alone for me.
Can you now imagine people telling their children not to have questions, not to ask questions, or pastors honestly, telling their members not to ask questions?
And that's one of the things that's one of the issues I've always had in most of the churches I've been to, because I can relate with a lot of people who say that their church don't encourage them to ask questions, because I was in that situation, because I like to ask questions, especially, for example, I go to church where you just sit down every Saturday, every Wednesday, every Sunday. You just go sit down, listen to the pastor. When the service is over, you go back home. Then when they give you the opportunity to have like a little bit of Bible study, and they're still doing it from a script. No opportunity to discuss, no opportunity to ask questions. So one day I called one of our leaders. I said, look, don't you know that a lot of people are burning in their heart with questions? They have questions, life issues, and nobody is answering those questions. You just want them to come, open Bible, shout hallelujah, speak in tongues, and go back home. I said, people are dying, and that's why people are leaving the church. But the church today, and it's a pity, that's why the church has found themselves we found ourselves where we are today, because like you said, it's true. They don't encourage question, and that's why the church is in a dark place. We're in a dark place because we don't ask questions. So for me, personally, I would say question is one thing that has deepened my roots in God. And I tell people, I say, look, there is nothing anybody will come and tell me today that God does not exist. Why? Because I have heard from him. And from that moment, it encouraged me to now try to know more about God, to now ask questions. And I know over the years, I know God has spoken to me time and time again. So there is question like this, like you said, there is nothing like question. And I encourage people to ask questions, challenge the status quo. Wherever I've been kicked out of a church before, because I challenged them, I asked them, and I was still very young. I asked them questions concerning the Holy Communion, question concerning tithe, question concerning water baptism, and they'll just shut you down. Who are you? Who are you, small boy, to talk to ask questions? Before you were born, we were already reading the Bible. But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you need to know something, then without asking questions, you will never know. You will never know. So question is really, really very important. Really very important.
Will you support me?
That's the contribution.
Will you support me starting a series on questions?
Sir, honestly, that would be one, apart from this love series that you've been doing, that would be another one of the greatest teachings, because it will so open the eyes of, honestly, DSA, I will encourage you, please. In fact, I will plead with you to start a series of questions. Start a series of questions. Honestly, it will be a life change, and Nigeria needs it. We need it now. The church in Nigeria needs it. People need, because they say the truth of the matter is there's a lot of people who are in churches today, they don't even know that it is their right to ask questions. They don't even know that they're even supposed to ask questions. Because I've been in churches that I even talk to deacons in church, elders in church, and it's like a taboo. When you ask questions, hey, who are you? Were you there when God called him? That's what they'll tell you. Were you there when God gave him the vision? Were you there when... I will say, look, but it doesn't matter. I have my Bible. If I see somebody doing something that is contrary, is it not common sense for me to ask her, what you are doing, please, can you explain it? Because it's not in the Bible. You understand? But they'll say, once God has told him that, you dare not challenge, you dare not ask questions. And it's so sad. It's so sad. And that's why ever since I left church, I've been comfortable at home. My church is now the DSA platform. I've lived a very peaceful and very enjoyable life. In fact, I've regained a lot of my lost years because of the amount of hours that I've recouped, not walking again in ignorance and in religiosity. So, yes, I just want to thank you so much. You've been. I don't know, to say you've been a blessing is an understatement. God have just used you to transform. I mean, not just my life, but the life of so many people. So many people. So I just want to say thank you, DSA. May God continue to give you that wisdom and strengthen you. God bless you, sir.
Chris, hello?
Sir.
You know that when Europe did not allow questions, dark ages came. And when they allowed question, enlightenment came.
Yes.
So the same thing in Africa.
And that's one thing you notice in Europe, right? You discover that from childhood. You see them, the way they teach children in school, they teach them to be very inquisitive. Children, the kind of questions children will ask you, you'll be baffled. You'll be baffled because it's a society that encourages people asking questions. But over there, even while growing up in Africa, it's like to question your own father or your own mother again is a taboo. They see it as a sign of disrespect. They see it as a sign of a child not being well brought up or not being well trained. That anything you say, you should just you should just take it. A child does not even have the strength or the ability or the right to question the parents. That's the upbringing in Africa, especially in Nigeria. You understand? And it's very, very, very noticeable in some traditions, in some cultures in Africa. So it's really, really, really bad. I think until we begin to tell people, especially the young ones growing up, that look, it is your God-given right to ask questions. Until they begin to ask questions, especially the church in Nigeria, it will remain in deep darkness and in bondage. And I think question is one thing that will bring the African church out of bondage. Question. So, sir, please, I will honestly pray that you start a new series on question. I think the fact that the message today has deviated to what we are discussing now, I believe it's a sign from God that this is something you should address. This is something you should treat. Because it's something that's really needed.
Said, so if you want to raise up successful children, give them those two instruments: questions and cause and effect. Those two things are the basis of education, and they are the basis of any society, any civilized society. If you see a civilized society, they ask questions. If you see a civilized society, they believe in cause and effect. They don't believe in miracles. They live by cause and effect, not by miracles.
Yeah. Like you said, sir, one of just briefly before I finish, like you said in one of your the Act of Thinking series, there's one of the messages you preached, I can't remember which one now, where you actually took the issue of question, and I was blown away. Because you went back to Genesis and you said when God created Adam, made Adam and breathed into him, the Bible says he became a living soul.
Yes.
That word living soul, they became a reasoning man.
Yes.
He became a man who had the ability to question.
Yeah.
So if you don't even question, in fact, your essence of living is completely defeated.
Yeah.
That is one sign to prove that you are living.
Yeah.
If you ask question.
Yeah.
So without question, you're just going through life like the word you used to I came across because knowing you become a biomass.
Yeah.
You just live through life as if you don't exist, and you die and nobody remembers you as if you ever walked this earth. Why? Because you failed to ask question.
That's
so,
why
sir, I just want to say thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
I think you should.
God bless you, sir.
Chris.
Sir.
I think you should recommend before I will still go ahead and finish this love series. Before I begin the question series, can you recommend the thinking series for people?
Okay. Sir, please, anyone on this platform, please, if you have not listened to me, because I've heard a lot of people say, oh, the truth series or the prayer series is good. But for me, I still maintain it. And I can defend it that the thinking series is the foundation, because even the truth series, right? If you don't know how to think critically and question things, truth will not make any sense, will not make any meaning to you.
Yeah.
You must be able to question and think analytically and critically for you to be able to accept the truth, because it is the ability to think that gives you the ability to even know if something is true or not. So it's the foundation. So if you've not listened to the truth series, to the Act of Thinking series, please go and listen to it. Go and listen. I think the one you said, the message, I think is the 5th or the 6th message that actually says question. All thinking is an attempt to answer some questions.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's the foundation. I believe that before you listen to the prayer series, before you listen to the truth series or any kingdom series, go and listen to the art of thinking. It is the foundation that on which truth stands. Because if you are not a reasoning man, how will you know what is truth?
Yeah.
If you even see it in the first place. Because the first thing God gave to man was not even truth. The first thing he gave to man is the ability to think.
Yeah.
The ability to reason.
Yeah.
So that's the foundation. That's the foundation. So I would recommend it to anybody. In fact, I have posted it to so many people. And most of the people that come on the platform here to castigate and to curse and to abuse, what I do now, I don't bother them. I just go to the YouTube, take a link of the thinking series and the truth series, and I post it on the private inbox. I say, I think this will help you. Go and listen to it. Because that's the foundation. That is the foundation. So please, anybody on the platform, listen to it, but don't just listen to it yourself. Send it to your friends, send it to your family, send it to your parents. Let them also listen to it. That is a series nobody should miss out from. So honestly speaking, DSA, thank you so much. My life has been completely transformed. In fact, I'm surprised at myself. I'm even surprised at myself. I'm telling you. Yes, I must say the truth. I wrote you a letter. I don't know if you've seen the letter.
No, not yet. I know that it came, but I've not read it yet.
Okay. So I just from October last year till date, honestly speaking, my life has taken a new turn. My life has taken a new turn because even people that come around me, even in the office, we talk. They're just in fact, I was talking to somebody a couple of days ago, and the first thing the person asked me, which books do you read? That's the first thing they asked me, which books do you read? So I smiled. So I said, okay, I will recommend one or two for you. So I said, have you ever heard of Money Will Make You Rich? Although I've not read it myself, but he said, Money Will Make You Rich? He said, where can I get it? I told him. Then the other one, I said, the other lady I was talking to, I said, we were just discussing in the office. And after discussing for about 10 minutes, he said, please, we need to start a fellowship. I said, start fellowship. He said, because I want to know more. I want to know more of the things you are saying. So instantly I recommended Church Shift and Kingdom Driven Life. And instantly she just went to Amazon, bought the Kingdom Driven Life, bought Who Am I, and ordered for Church Shift. So honestly speaking, every day we come on this platform, we don't know the things that are actually being deposited in our spirit. If I'm just sitting down and listening to you alone, it's like more than 20 years of going to church. In fact, going to church for how many years is a waste. That's why for me, when people ask me, what church do you go to? I say, I don't go to any institutionalized church. Yeah. I say, I do my church at home. And they're amazed. And when they ask me why, by the time I just briefly explain to them 5 minutes, they begin to see reasons. I say, yeah, you're right. So, sir, I just want to thank you. You've been a massive blessing.
No, but you must clarify that phrase that you yourself surprise yourself. You yourself, you are surprised at yourself. How do you understand that?
Sir, I'm surprised because for me personally, okay, let me just give one example. I never thought, because I used to ask myself, I said, is it that I'm not creative? Or is it that I'm not innovative? Because even in the past, even if ideas come, maybe once in a blue moon, and when the idea comes, I really don't even know what to do with it, how to go about it. But yes, I can tell you that from October, I started listening to you. Even now, the amount of creativity, the amount of ideas that flow through my head, in fact, I myself, I'm not even able to I would say, if you're gathering them, I'm not even able to gather. And they don't just come, but they come, especially after the HMT, they come with what you taught us. Yes. They come with a form, with a structure, and a system. It's like I'm seeing a mental picture of all the things that are coming. And I begin to write them down. I just begin to write them down. In fact, God will just give me an idea. And right there, as I start meditating on the idea, how to execute it, what to do, the plan, the structure, we just believe in.
Wow.
So, and this is and this is just how many months? Just how many months?
Three,
and how many books have I read?
Less than 4 months.
Yeah, and I would say less than, because almost the whole of January I was not feeling too fine, so I was like ill, so I really didn't do much. So I'll just say October, toward the end of October, November, December, and just part of February.
3 months.
But the transformation in my mind is just amazing. It's just amazing. And I keep telling myself, I say, but I've been reading books now. What's so different? I've been reading books. But it's just amazing. It's just amazing. I think that honestly, there's a huge anointing. There's a huge anointing on you that God has given to really impact on people's life. You just have a way of bringing out the very best, the core of the human soul. You just have a way of touching it and kind of like lighting it up on fire. It's just amazing. It's just amazing. So I honestly, I would just recommend, look, people, I share this thing, like I just share, I continue to talk to people, I recommend books, because I just cannot keep it to myself. I cannot keep it to myself anymore. I just go around and I tell people. People keep calling. In fact, the amount of requests, Facebook requests I get, in fact, sometimes I'm not even able to. So, yeah, so it's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. It's such a blessing. Thank you so much, sir.
So you think
let me allow the people to call.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah. Chris is on fire. Christian is on fire. That is Christian Al. Christian Al. So if you want to find him, maybe you also want to send him the request so that he will have more requests to process. Christian Al is his name on Facebook. Christian Al. So look for him. He was here for HMT. So if you have not been here for HMT, you better go and register now for HMT. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, who is calling?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, my name is Aaron, calling from United Kingdom.
Yeah, yes, sir. How are you, sir?
I'm fine. DSA,
Yes,
you're
sir.
doing a lot of work. Deep down here, you are overloading us, in fact. You're overloading us. Thank you so much. I really support this series, and I'm one of those that will say I support the series on questioning.
Wow.
I support it. Yeah. I do have one question.
Yes.
The question is, I don't know if I missed it while you were explaining it. Is the word you said how you said questioning is more important than faith. I don't know if I skipped something there because I was still thinking.
Not just more important than faith, it's actually more important than faith in God.
Faith in God, okay. Okay.
But I will not take you through it again. I will also challenge you to copy share the message and go and listen to it until you get it. Even if you need to listen to it again. Even if you need to listen to it 10 times. The more you listen to it, the better for you.
Yes. Okay, faith in God. Oh, okay, I got it. Okay. Because in Africa, when you ask too much questions, they say you are a demon. You are demon possessed. So many of us don't want to look like a demon.
But Aaron,
yes,
I'm sure you have children or you are going to have children.
Yes.
If your children are going to live in a better world, and if they will ever go back to Africa, not as beggars, but to become human beings, in fact, the one thing you have to make sure you do for your own generation is to teach them, to ask questions. In fact, we have to go back to Africa and retrain all of Africa to begin to ask questions.
You're right. I agree with you.
Yes.
I agree with you. Thank you so much. I was just thinking, I said, because if you question, sometimes people will tell you if you ask question, it means you don't have faith. if you want to marry a woman or you are asking to yourself, this question you are asking will not, they just have faith in God. Faith will bring everything. Faith will change everything.
But
so that kind of thinking.
Aaron, questions and question is more important than faith. And question is more important than even faith in God, not just faith in anything.
Yes.
Question is one of the most, in fact, it is the fundament, it is the foundation of everything.
I'm really enjoying it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
You see, a lot of things we need to understand in perspective. People don't understand that. Just like Al, referred to the thinking series. There is a thinking series in the YouTube that human being, there are rules for you to function on the earth. And faith, that's one of the most important things in the kingdom. Faith is a force. Faith is energy. Faith is so important.
Hello.
But there is place for everything. Hello,
Pastor Sunday.
Yes, sir. Who is calling from where?
This is Simon calling from New York City.
Yes, sir. We're listening.
How are you doing, Pastor?
Well, I'm trying my best to help you guys get it. I hope you are getting it little by little.
This is deep. This is very, 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 very deep. This, I was watching today. Because most of the time I walk around this time, so I'm not.
Can you speak into your mic so that it will be louder somehow?
Is this better, sir?
All right, excellent.
Yeah, most of the time I'm not always opportune to come because maybe most of the time I'm working at this time, so I come late or sometimes it's already done. Then I'll go and watch it later on.
Yeah.
But today I'm just a chance to watch it right from the start.
Wow.
And I saw the way the Spirit of God hijacked this program from your hand.
Yes.
And for the first time in a while, you did not show a single video.
Yeah, I don't even remember. I didn't even remember. It's good. It's true. I don't even remember. I did it.
You did not show a single video. And I know a lot of antagonists, they were set to see which video you will show and how they will come attack, but a lot of them were disappointed already. I don't really blame them because what you don't know, you don't know. Now, it becomes your fault if you don't know and you refuse to ask questions. That is where the challenge comes in.
You are right.
And most of the time, they say, because recently when I come across this platform last September ending, that was when I came across your platform. It was a pastor that recommended it. This pastor that normally makes video in the car, his name is Pastor Shah.
Yeah.
She was saying that you people will need to be listening to Pastor Adelaja. I think what he's saying is true. And I said, Pastor Sunday, I've been hearing that name, Pastor Sunday Adelaja, Ukraine. Long time ago, I've been hearing that name, but I never took time to even find out who is this man. So one day I just decided, let me even check out some of the videos talking about. When I was listening, at that time you were talking about paganism in the church.
Yeah.
That was a period you were talking about paganism in the church.
Right.
And I was thinking, this man is saying my mind all these years. Because I used to become as a rebel, church and everything. But I realized that the way I've been thinking personally, my personal walk with God, is the things we are teaching Him. And that brings me to the point that we are talking about questioning today.
Yeah.
The point is, in Christian church today, in Nigerian church today, Nigerian Christian church, when you talk about questioning, the reason why most people don't question, the reason why most leaders don't encourage questioning, is because they don't have the answers.
Wow.
Okay, let us look at the source of information. Yes, I bless God for your life, sir. You really show me what it can take a man to maximize every resources at his disposal.
a lot of us are so wasteful, and we just eat all those things that God brings to our path. The question is, all these our pastors, majority of them are doctorate degree holders. Most of them, they are knowledgeable. Most of them even have private universities in their church. But if you look at the information, the list, the scriptures, the biblical teaching they give to the followers, to the members, they are packaged in form of open heavens, yearly devotional. They are packaged in form of Rhapsody of Realities, monthly devotionals. Most churches have Sunday school manuals. Most churches have Bible study manuals. They even have new believers manuals, house fellowship manuals, home cell manuals. Everything is manualized. Manuals.
So that people will not think, so nobody is thinking again.
Exactly. So they package all those things, all those brainwashing information in form of manuals. And when you look at it, the same thing are being repeated every year, year in, year out. This is the idea of devotional, especially for Redeemed, started in year 2000. The same thing for Christ Embassy's Rhapsody of Reality. But if you notice, they package books in form of devotional, and after that year, the one of year 2000 is outdated. People will not go and buy for year 2001. And it has been like that every year up till now, 2018. And before you know it, before the end of the year, the 2019 will come out. So they are making that thing annually, and it has become a way of generating income for them. That's a permanent income for them. For example, you are writing a lot of books. You write over 300 books in the course of 30 years. To our Nigerian pastor, who does that? That's insane to them. But it's because what God has put inside of you, like Jeremiah said, is like a fire shot in the bone. You cannot keep it. You just have to share it.
Yeah.
And the best way you can reach out to the millions of people is through books. And you're writing those books, and there are new topics, new ideas, new stuff. But our leaders there, they just keep recycling the same thing over and over and over and over. And that's why when any new person, any new members that is having a personal relationship with God wants to question that ideology, they attack it. Because they believe that those questions will bring knowledge, will bring understanding, and will bring light. And when people have their eyes open, right away, nobody will go for any rhapsody, nobody will go for any open whatever, any manual again.
It's
and
true.
Then that income ends there.
Wow.
But thank God for your life, Pastor. Thank God for your life. I really thank God for your life. Right now, I have to enroll in Amazon Kindle, and between January and today, I just finished 3 of your books, and I'm on the 4th one now. And I made up my mind that by God's grace, I'm going to make sure I read as many books as I could, because I know that for you to be able to do all these things you're doing, definitely there is a source of knowledge. There is a secret about it. And I love the idea you shared in your book that is titled What to Do with Your Time.
Yeah.
My goodness. That book is a great blessing. It's a great blessing. That book just talk about what you just discussed today, cause and effect, which is everything we will achieve in life, it has to be intentional. There should be intentionality in it. It has to be something that you could count, something that you have to make effort, something tangible to be able to convert our time into something tangible to add value to ourselves, to add value to others, and to make products. I am really blessed, Pastor. Thank God for your life. God will continue to strengthen you and continue to be with you and your family and all the teams that are there. I really appreciate this lady that's always doing the program, Mayowa, and the rest of the team. Kudos to you. God bless you. God strengthen you. please continue to do the great work you're doing, and the Lord Almighty will continue to strengthen you and move you on from glory to glory. And for everyone on the platform, I want to beg you guys, I put it on one of my comments that let us always learn to respect everybody that comes to the platform. Because some people will come for the first time, and majority are coming with a biased mindset. 9% of Nigerian Christians are already brainwashed. They are coming with that mind already. And it will take time for us to see the light, for a lot of people to see the light. But when they come and they put in whatever they want to put in, I don't want to call it any name, but when they put in their comments, let's just try as much as possible to address the issue and not to attack their person. Not to be calling names, not to be attacking people's personality, but we address the issue. If they talk about, oh, this is what they believe, this is the scripture they believe, don't just tell them, is it because are you stupid or something? Then let's call anybody names. Let's address the issue and then respect our persons. God bless every one of us.
Hello.
And
hello, bro.
Plan God for Nigeria will surely come to pass in our lifetime.
Hello.
God.
Hello.
Hello, sir.
You said you have read 3 books.
Yes, I read 3 of your books this year.
Which ones?
I read Who Am I? I started with Who Am I? Why am I here?
Okay.
So when I finished that, I decided to go for the one that talked about your lost years.
How to regain your lost years.
Yes. How to regain your lost years.
Okay.
So I read that one too, and I just finished. What
to do with your time?
The third one yesterday. What to do with your time? And let me give a little advice to some of the people who are watching. Sometimes everybody, there was one of your video I was watching when you bring in a professor.
Yes.
Who is one of the best brain in Europe.
Yes.
I forgot his name.
Chris. Yeah.
Now the professor was not teaching. The professor was not teaching that we should all try to learn our learning style.
Yeah.
And everybody has different learning style that is inbuilt in us. The best way to study, the best way to learn, to gain knowledge. Some people learn through looking, through watching, through motion picture. Some people learn through kinetics, through walking. Some they learn through audio devices. They like to listen to stuff. For me, I enjoy a lot of subtitling. I learn through a lot of subtitling. For me, if I want to watch any documentary, I like to be reading along with it. So when I realized that I got to hear and read, what I did was that most of your books that are on Amazon Kindle, there is, if you're using Android, there is a part of Android that has this availability, or let me check 1 second, sir. It talks about availability, whereby you can accessibility. When you go to accessibility and vision, you can make that book to become like an audio book, and it will be reading to you. It will just be reading to you. That was what I did, and it was just reading to me, and I will just sit there, be reading along, and I will be listening at the same time, reading it. I'm getting a lot of understanding in the book, in the reading. So everybody should learn a way to know their learning style, and also to go along with it.
Beautiful. Maybe one day you will write in so that we will do book review with you.
All right, sir. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Blessings.
You're welcome, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Blessings, sir.
Yep. Okay. Let's receive other calls. We have other callers who want to contribute. So let's get them in. And hello.
Hello.
Yes, can you speak louder, please?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes, who is calling from where?
This is Paul, sir. I'm calling from India.
Yeah, Paul. Now we hear you louder.
Okay. Good evening, sir.
Blessings.
Yes, sir. I want to bless you for this wonderful topic you're talking about today. It's something that actually confirms, it's confirming some of the mentality that I've gotten, that I was thinking maybe I'm the only one that is thinking like that now. So it's just it's God using you to confirm these things, that it is something that I should dig more. It's areas of my life that I need to work in, that I need to work on more. So I am very, very grateful, sir.
Wow.
So,
Is it questioning?
Sir?
Is it about questioning?
Yes, it is. It is about questioning, sir. For some time now, I just got hold of the need for us to ask questions, and what we tend to lose when we don't ask questions. And it is, in a way, unfortunately, contrary to what is preached, in most of our Nigerian churches. We are taught to believe. We are taught to have faith. That faith is the evidence of things hoped for, and I think the result of things not seen, something like that, quoted from Hebrew. So the emphasis is on that we just believe. So, somebody can be praying about money. That's why it is easy to pray about money. You don't work, you just praying, God, give me money, I need this money. You are praying for a job, even when you do not have qualification. But as God will help me now, as I began to question myself, begin to ask questions myself. The last message the last presentation that I did for the youths in Abu Dhabi before I left, I actually quoted John 20, where Thomas actually was told that Jesus has resurrected, and he said he will not believe until he has seen his hand and see the hole there. When we teach that, when people in Africa or Nigeria teach from that passage, they will tell you that Thomas was a doubter, that he did not believe. But I saw a revelation in verse 28, where the Bible said, and Thomas answered and said unto him, after he has confirmed, he said unto him, my Lord and my God. All right, this passage actually confirmed the fact that at least one of the disciples of the Lord, of Jesus, actually called him my God. Prior to that, they've been seeing Jesus as master. They've been seeing him as my Lord. But here now, he confirmed that he is my God in that verse. And to me, that was a revelation that was born out of question. So if he did not question, if he did not ask, if he did not want to see, if he wasn't inquisitive, there is possibility that this revelation will never have been known to us.
Yeah.
That is one, sir. I want to tell you why the ability for inquisitiveness was actually quenched in an average African or an average Nigerian. It is our culture that says that when adults are talking, you don't ask questions. It is seen as being rude. That's the way they see it. When you ask questions from adults, or when adults are talking, you just keep quiet. They will shun you. Based on my study right now, I know that every child, everybody is born with the innate ability to question. We are all born with the innate ability to be inquisitive, to be curious. Yeah, that's the word, curiosity. We all have that ability. But do you know how it was suppressed in Africa and in most of these developing countries? Was that for instance, if you give a child of 5 months old or 1 year something, he begins to put it in his mouth. You understand? He is trying to feel it. is trying to examine that object, whatever it is. Even when you buy toy for them, they want to break it to see what is happening, what is inside of that thing. For instance, if a phone or a radio, they want to see what is talking. See, that's being inquisitive. But you know what parents do? Parents shout at them. All right? Parents, when a parent shout at children when they are being inquisitive, that there is tendency that child goes into self-blame. All right? He begins to blame himself for doing what he did, which was natural actually. But based on the ignorance of parents, they think they are trying to correct that child. But unknowingly to them, they are killing that which is supposed to which was a part of the growing ability, part of developmental stage in the life of that child. That's what they are killing. All right. So that child now. So subsequently, he begins to, and this happens from time to time. So this child does not ask questions anymore. So he doesn't examine things anymore because he's afraid that, oh, mommy will shout at me again. Oh, daddy will flog me. Because we even flog them, in Africa, when a child that is just, trying to be inquisitive, trying to explore his environment, and we flog him, you make him feel bad. So he's guilty, he's feeling guilty. We think it does not matter to them, but it's important to them, So that part of that child, the part that is inquisitive in the life of that child is suppressed and suspended. Hello, sir.
Beautiful, yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that is how an average African train their own children. That is how we are trained, sir. That is how we are brought up. So we are brought up to not ask questions. Even when you want to ask questions, sir, you see that you have to think about it and think about it again. If I ask it this way, is it going to look presentable? If I say it this way, is it going to, maybe mommy is going to be, is it going to go well with mommy? That child, he will now polish that question, such that it conforms, exactly, that's the word. That question conforms to the society, to the expectation of the society, and at that time, there is no more originality in that question anymore. So that is what we have reduced the mind of an average African person to. And that's why we don't ask questions. All right? That's why we don't ask questions. There is nothing, everything seems like it's not new to us. Even when you are teaching in class, when you are teaching in class, you ask them, teacher asks, does everybody understand? Everybody will say yes, even though they do not understand. Even though they did not have an idea of the applicability of that subject that is being taught. Still, they will not ask questions. They will just nod our heads and say yes, even though they did not understand. Wow. So it is something that the culture has done to us, and this is what the church has also imported. All right. So the church has believed that God is supreme. All right. The supremacy of God to a lot of Africans is that we shouldn't question God. We shouldn't ask. We shouldn't ask questions. So that's why people believe that Thomas was a doubter. That it was because Thomas doubted. But I saw a revelation from there. If he hasn't asked that, we wouldn't have discovered. People when people who does not believe in Jesus as being God, we wouldn't have been able to trace that to confirm that Jesus was actually called God by any of the disciples there. So, sir, I am very. This is real education. All right. This is like doing a PhD program. Honestly, I just hope that the people that are privileged to be on this platform are taking it as much as somebody like me is taking it in. It is very, very, very powerful, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you. Sir, it is now that I am my confidence in the Nigerian plan. It is now certain that it is possible. Because when I saw that link, sir, when you sent me that link of your plan for Nigeria, I think it was your assistant Julie that sent me the link. And I watched that video for 2 hours. I almost did not believe my brain that how can one man have this kind of a plan? A country, even Nigeria government for 4 years, 8 years, doesn't have such plan. So I'm asking myself, is this really possible in that country that I know that I have lived in for so long? So, but with this kind of knowledge that I am seeing, sir, I am believing that okay, it is actually possible. Thank you so much, sir.
Then I'm sure you have not listened to the Thinking series.
Which series, sir?
Thinking. Yes.
I think I've watched a little bit of it.
You cannot watch the whole series and not remember. You have to watch the whole series.
Certainly not all. I will check it.
If you have time, watch the whole series.
Yeah.
The Thinking series.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
All right, sir.
Bless you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Beautiful. Revolution. This today, I didn't plan this thing today, but maybe God planned it. And it's like people are blessed even by it, so I'm sure maybe that's what God wanted. Hello?
Hello?
Yes. Who is calling from where?
Idori from Manchester.
Idori, blessings. How is Manchester?
Manchester, it's cold.
Yes. The same here.
Yeah. Thank you, DSA. How are you?
Can you speak into the microphone and louder, please?
Yeah. How are you, DSA?
Well, I'm trying my best, If you people get it, then I'm happy.
Oh, we are getting it, I tell you. It's been a very deep teaching, but we're getting it. Sometimes we feel sort of, I feel sort of going to be confused, but then when you say another word, I get it right.
Wow.
Yeah. I just called today to share 2 stories about asking. I don't know if you have ever heard of a sect called Brotherhood of the Cross and Star.
No, I think I can't remember. Are they in Africa?
There is a sect called Brotherhood of the Cross and Star. It's all over the world, and they have a leader called Lumba Opu.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that, yeah.
Yeah. So my father was a member of that sect. And I was born and I grew up in that sect. But when I got to the age of about 14 in secondary school, I think I was in year 3, I started this series that you talked about today, asking questions. I was asking lots of questions, and I was being beaten and thrown out, and I was being locked up, and I kept asking questions. And when I was asking these questions, my father used to say to me, "Who do you think you are? Even governors are in this church. Even big millionaires, rich, young, tall, beautiful ladies, you," and I'll give you exact word that he used to call me. He said, "You, this small, tiny rat. How do you think that you can be asking questions?" And I said, Daddy, I don't know, but I just want to know. I want to know. That's why I'm asking. And every time he tries to shut me up, I'm asking questions. And at a point, I said, "Daddy, I'm not coming with you to this place again." Oh my God, it was the hell of my life. Because my dad blew hell stones. I was all alone. But DSA, while I was asking these questions, God began to show me a lot of things in my dream. And God began to show me that sect. God showed me that they were in prison, because every time I dream, I see them all chained in prison. And I'll wake up screaming, and I'll be shouting on my mom. I said, "They are in prison. They are all in prison. They are in chains. I don't want to be in chains. And I kept screaming and screaming. Most times I always think this. They used to think that I'm possessed. When I was growing up, my parents actually thought that I was possessed. And I was asking questions. And God used to I felt the presence of God with me. So I stopped going there at the age of, I think I was 16 or 17. I didn't know how I would feed. I didn't know how I would go to school. But I just stopped going there. My father said, I will not pay your school fees. I was under stress this DSA. But every time my father said, if we leave this house today, every Sunday I was in hell. If we leave this house today and you don't follow us, by the time I come back, I don't want to see you in this house. And they would leave. And when they leave, DSA, we were living in a village. No light, nothing. I would stay in my room on the floor. And I'll worship the true God. And I'll feel the presence of God. I have never felt like that in my life. I will feel the presence of God all over me. And I'll be on that floor for 5-6 hours. I will not know where I am. I was just in the presence of God. And by the time my father comes back with all his energy, and I'll just say to him, Daddy, good afternoon. And he'll say, good afternoon. And he'll walk past me. And that is it.
Hello.
And it just dies down. But I felt something because I was asking questions.
Beautiful.
And
Beautiful.
I don't know how to say it, because what you're teaching today is exactly the truth. I kept writing on that platform. I said, this is the truth. This is the truth. Asking questions reveal a lot. When you ask questions, that is at a point, that's just one of my story, because right now, every member of my brothers, my sisters, none of them are in that sect because I was asking questions.
Wow.
Everybody left.
Are you serious?
Everybody.
And your father too?
My father is still there, but all my siblings, everybody left.
Wow.
My father is still there because he said he would die there, but we were still praying for him, but everybody left. But my point is, because everybody was so quiet following him, but when I started asking questions, everybody started having an enlightenment.
Yeah.
Everybody's eyes started opening. What is this? Why is she asking? What is this thing she's asking? And one by one, everybody was rebelling and leaving. And everybody left. And since then, the way that God works with me and reveals things to me is different, because he taught me himself that.
Hello.
There was no pastor. I wasn't affiliated to any Pentecostal church. I wasn't affiliated to any sort of religion. I was just a young girl, but God taught me that act that you are just teaching tonight, asking questions.
And that alone set you free.
Yes, sir. I got free, I got delivered, I knew God by myself. So when people say, oh, this person led me to Christ, yes, when I went back to school, I joined fellowship and I fellowship with people. But if I can say this person led me to Christ, I do not know. But God led me to himself, by himself, to know him for who he is. That is my story. Now, coming to asking questions, we were in church when I was playing church. Before I met DSA, I was playing church.
Yeah.
We were in church and we were sharing a portion, and somebody said, why would your son ask you to give him reasons why he shouldn't go on social media at 11? I said, he's right to ask me, because my son asked me, Mom, I need you to tell me the reasons and why and blah, why I shouldn't go on social media. I need you to tell me. And that is a good question. And the lady was in the Bible Sunday school saying, he's not right. every child should obey their parents, whether they know the reason or not. And I'm sat there and saying, no, I don't think it's right. The children should ask questions. They should be allowed to ask questions. Because I asked questions and I got delivered. So I just want to encourage us. This teaching, DSA, I'm saying that you, as every other said, you have to take it in series because we need to know is what is killing us. Everybody sends you private messages. Did you see this happening? I said, you speak out. Nobody wants to talk. Nobody wants to ask questions. Everybody is hiding. I don't know this thing in Africa that whether it's our tradition, I don't know. But we don't ask questions. We don't talk.
Yeah.
Hello, yes, are you there?
Very much, yeah.
Yeah, so I was reading 1 Corinthians the other day when Paul said himself, he said to be a spiritual man, and it also made sense to me when you are teaching about asking questions tonight. So I just want to say thank you because this series really brought deliverance to my life. So I said I'll call in to share my story, that this teaching brought deliverance to my life. And up till today, I don't know what they do, what my parents don't do, but here I am, I'm serving God, I'm loving God. And even in where they are, nobody, I've always repeated, nobody can ever come and tell me, your father or your mother is this or that. They know me, I've said it openly. My parents are the best parents I've ever had. I love them. It's just their choice, and God will help them. But then God brought me out by himself because he taught me the act of asking. So God bless you, dear.
Thank you so much. God bless. Okay, we have more callers. So let's hear people's contribution. More callers are coming in. We're going to contribute. Hello? Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Who is calling?
How are you?
It's Miriam.
Yes, sir.
Yes, nice to hear from you today.
Yes, sir. Sir, this is the Lord, making this to happen, like you said, that this is how God wanted to happen. So this morning, as I was praying and, about a program that we do in school and the counseling that I do for people. So the Lord began to tell me, say, the only way to go about the things, because that's what I like to do, is to allow the people to ask questions. So, and I said, okay, Lord, if I open up this type of forum, like, okay, they ask questions, can I answer all the questions? He said, I should call you. It's true. He said, call DSA and then ask if you can't answer the question, let him answer. So in other words, I'm interpreting it to what is happening now.
Yes.
And when the last lady, yes, that is exactly how I interpreted it, because it went further than the way I will explain it. And how you came into, like, I said, okay, I'm going to ask him first and explain the things to him. That's why I wanted to, like, have an appointment so that before I will begin to put this in. I said, because there must be something I cannot answer. Then that passed. As the father man was talking, and this young lady that just spoke now, the Lord spoke to me. He said, I start to see rain, drop of rain, like tears coming down. But not like, like in form of the way rain comes. It comes in form of, tears, just dropping. And the next thing the Lord said to me, I will drop water in a dry places, and I will cause water to come out of dry ground. You know that scripture?
Yes.
That's exactly what God told me. Yeah. So this very question series and how it pops up, of course, DSA, you know, as a man of the spirit, and God speaks through your mouth as you speak. It comes out even when you don't know some of the things that you're going to say, how it's going to come. But because you're open to Him and you're just Him. You know, you're the kingdom of God walking on earth.
Yeah.
So you know that this is the way it's happening. So this is God's doing here. Because what saved me from being a captive, I use the word captive because many people that are in church that give themselves, like that sister was saying, they are in captivity.
Yeah, it's slavery.
What saved me, yes.
It's slavery.
Yeah, they're in captivity. Yeah, it says slavery is captivity, and it's because of lack of not asking questions. Not asking verbal questions to where you are, not asking, silent question to God and getting an answer before you carry on any activity or any relationship or anything you want to do at all. So in my case, I was a little girl. My mother was not going to church. Apparently, they were not raised in church. But one uncle of mine, they were raised in cherubim and seraphim. So we are little in primary school, and they will take us to that church. So when they take us to that church, they will sing and sing and sing and sing, and afterwards is the rise, is the prophecy that they do. So one day, as a little girl in primary school, I started asking God. I said, God, all the Bible they bring to church, they just leave it on top of the table, on top of that thing, or they hold it in their hand. I didn't see it opening except when the main man wants to come and speak, and that is another 1 hour dancing before the man talks. So I asked God at 9 years or 10, I still was in primary 5. I said, God, why are they not opening the Bible? Me, I want somewhere they can open the Bible and teach me something.
Wow.
And God spoke to me. Yeah, God spoke to me, and He said to me, these people, I didn't know that was in the Bible anyway. He said, these people worship me with their mouth, but their heart is far away from me.
Wow.
So I now said to God, I said, okay, God, when I grow up and leave this village, I want to go to a place where they can teach us the Bible. So I told my mother, I said, I want to learn the Bible, this book that they are putting on top of the table, holding it in their hand. I want to learn about the book. So my mother said, he said, maybe we'll go to Jehovah's Witness. I said, no, Jehovah's Witness, they don't cook rice. So because they don't cook rice, we are not going. Because it's almost like I'm the one helping my mother for us to channel towards God, even though I was little. So just say, asking questions silently, asking questions verbally, weighing things before you do, which is a question, is the only way where one can be led of God and led of the Spirit of the living God. Then that pass, when I now come to America and I see all these people, they will literally worshiping the pastor, the one that gives big money, they will sit in front of the chair, they will sit in front of the roll of the seat. The pastor will call them out, their body to their pastor. I asked God question again. I said, God, these people, as the pastors are, these women are running or people running to the pastor, worshiping the pastor. I said, I don't like it because I thought I'm supposed to worship God. He said, yes, don't follow them because that is not me they're worshiping the man of God.
Yeah.
So that again made me say to go back. And this same knowledge of asking God question and wanting to know about anything, because He's my Father. He's the one that lives inside of me. He's the one that knows the map. I said He knows the map of the world He created, like that brother said. Everything is in Him. So if I don't inquire from Him in every approach, then I'm making mistake, and I find myself at a place where it's not proper, So sometimes people will say to me, the way you respond to things are different. To resolve some issues as a counselor, I say to them, because God has knowledge that you don't have, and until you act and think towards His area, you're not going to know what to do. So one day I asked God a question. I said, God, I want to know you. Like that brother said, in a different level, in a different form. Even this question that brought you, DSA, to my life.
Wow.
It's question, yeah. And you know what? The whole thing about asking questions and wanting to know from God is that He's already lined up the whole thing. He's lined it up. How it will happen, when it will happen, how it will go. He got it all. Let's map it out. I call him extraordinary strategist. He strategized it with signboard with no handwriting on it. He's a writing billboard with no handwriting. He got it. So I think, I believe this morning, as God was speaking to me, even right now as that girl was talking, and I saw those tears and rain coming down, I know, dear said that I need more questions because there are areas I think I don't ask enough questions. So now I said, okay, maybe this is it. This is where things didn't go this further. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you one more time again. Then I also want to refer to one ministry that, one teaching last night. It made my neighbors knock on my door because I was going cuckoo. I was screaming everywhere. You shall know the truth, and the truth will set you free.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So I don't know if I should say you should continue that one, or continue the love series, or continue question. But all I can say is continue all.
Okay, I will continue on. Thank you, Miriam. Thank you so much. God bless.
You're welcome.
Bye. That was the Truth series she was referring to. The Truth series, yeah, she was screaming, and the neighbors have to come to knock at the door. I was making you to scream. Are you okay? That's the Truth series. Hello?
Hello, DSA. Good evening.
Yes, is that, who is speaking?
It's Bridget from Sweden.
Oh, Bridget, yes. How are you, man?
I'm fine, thank you. And you and everybody?
We are fine.
Okay. Keep up the good work, DSA. We are all behind you.
Yeah.
We are so behind you.
Thank
because
you.
what you are doing is really an act of God in you. And the topic today and the topic of yesterday are a bit similar to each other. The reason why I'm saying that is because not to question things is so detrimental. When I listen to the messages to the people that called from Chris Al, and then I think the first 4 people before this lady that just finished talking, and I was thinking, I said, my God, this is exactly where my mind is coming. And Chris was saying everything that I had in mind to say. So you see, when the way we were brought up not to question anything. And some of the callers were saying, when you ask something, they beat you. You will get the beating of your life for asking a question, DSA. So in the end, you enter, you get, are you there? You go into yourself. Hello?
We are hearing you now.
Okay. You go into yourself like a cocoon because you have this fear that if you ask anything, you'll be beaten. So what do? So in fact, because of these beatings, many people, the way I see Ghana or Africa, don't want to voice out. Don't want to voice out. And they have become very laid back in their mindset. When I went to Ghana, one time I asked somebody I was talking to, I said, so what do you think of this? What do you think of that? I said, I don't know. A grown person, DSA. He said he doesn't know. I said, ah. So for me, I had a very strong will that I rebelled. Because every time my mother would say something, I say no, I ask questions. Like the previous caller, you will be beaten and beaten and beaten for asking questions.
Wow.
Be beaten, DSA. And you see, this message you were talking about today, going from darkness, I completely understand that really not asking questions is a sign of darkness. It's a sign of darkness, and it's such a shame. It's such a shame that we are not encouraging our people, our children. We don't want to let them their minds to explore things. I always say when I'm talking to people, I say, I thank God I came to Europe, because I don't know what I would be like if I were to keep growing up in Africa. I don't know. Because the way everything you say, they will antagonize you. Every time you want to ask something, you are being antagonized. In your own family, they will be antagonizing you. How much more when you go out? There is no security, there is no love, there is nobody. Whoever you want to talk to is the same thing. The same thing everywhere. So you said something, in fact, to re-educate the African continent is so paramount, DSC. Is so paramount. That continent needs to break free from that darkness that it is in. Needs to break free. So please, this listening message and the thinking message, they have to be playing. We have to be listening to it. We have to be listening to it, especially the ones in Africa. They have to listen to it. Seriously, DSA. Seriously. You see, my mother, I never knew who my mother was. And I'll tell you this because I also see it as a typical African thing that we don't communicate with our children. I gave birth to my son when I was 19, my firstborn.
Wow.
When I gave birth to my son, I swore, I said, God, I am going to raise my children differently from the way my parents raised me. I am going to communicate with them. They are going to be like my friends or like my husbands. Everything that was denied me, I will give it to my children. It was when I came to Europe at the age of 11, like I told you yesterday, I'm going to be 50 next month. At the age of 11, that is when I started to know, of course I know who my mother was, but I had no relationship with her. No relationship. All I know is that this woman gave birth to me. Finish.
You are not living together with her?
No. We were living together, yes. But she was never around. She was never around. She was a busy person, running her own business. And we had maids who were taking care of us and so on. So she was never around until I moved to Europe at the age of 11. That is where I saw my mother every day in the house. My father was he's late also, but he was a diplomat on top of other things. So I was seeing this woman, but a complete stranger. I didn't know anything about her. All I knew is she gave birth to me. Wow. The same thing with my father too.
Wow. So,
and I have seen this with, it's like, I can say there are always exceptions to the rules, but maybe the 95% of African families is like that. like that. And like one of the callers said, the brother caller, he said, if you want to, it's like a crime for asking a question. It's like a crime. And it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
It's a God-given right to ask. So if you don't ask, which means they want you to be mumu, like they say in Nigeria. They want you to be dumb.
Yeah.
To be dumb. But we have intelligence. But the way they are bringing us up in Africa is destroying our intelligence. It's destroying us. You go to Africa, you meet people, you ask them questions. They don't have any mind of their own. Somebody will tell you, oh, my father wants me to be a doctor. My mother wants me to be a business person. What do you want to do?
Yeah.
No clue. They don't know. Even sometimes university people I've met here in Sweden from Ghana, with all the books they have read, you will not even believe DSA that they have degree. They have degree. You will not believe it. As I'm talking to you now, my father was a first-class scholar. A first-class scholar. And none of his children can compare to his mind. But my firstborn has taken the mind of my father. Unfortunately, he has a condition. So, but I am not a university graduate. I love to read, even though my schooling in Africa was very bad because of sicknesses and so many things. So I just, my education was very poor. But when I talk, I have educated myself in the way that I voice myself. Sometimes people will say, hey, this woman is very educated. It's because I read. I look for books that I enjoy and I will read, whether it's a novel or whatever, I will read. And it opened my mind. It gave me some kind of satisfaction that I'm conversing and sharing my ideas with a book. But Africans, you go to Africa or Ghana or wherever, people hardly want to read.
Yeah.
Hardly want to read. Huh? I in fact, DSA, I don't know how to say thank you to God. I came across you in October last year. And like one of your callers was saying, that he said, only 3-4 months, he has transformed. DSA, if I'm telling you, I feel the same way with that guy.
Wow.
The things I listen to, I say, hey, my God, where has this man been my whole life? But anyway, it's never too late. I thank God that I have come to know you. DSA, I'm begging you with the love of God, you are going to make me your disciple, whether you like it or not. I am telling you the gospel truth. Whether you like it or not, DSA, you are stuck with me. You are stuck.
Okay.
Because it has been a dream for me to want to know an African person who has the heart for humanity, the heart. I never thought I would live to see somebody until I came across you.
Wow.
So I want to ask you, please, DSA, keep teaching us, keep enlightening us with your messages. All the rubbish that people will come on the platform to say, they should. We pray that one day they will come to realize the truth, the gospel truth. Because now their eyes is covered. They don't have, the veil is still covered on their eyes. So they don't know. But the day will come when the veil will go off and they will realize, this is it. This is it. God bless you, DSA.
Bridget,
We'll be
expecting you in Ukraine.
Yes, I love all of you. And I say, Mayowa, you are the, I don't want to praise you so much, but you are amazing. Amazing.
You better praise her because she's receiving a lot of attacks.
I heard it. I saw it. I said, these people, you know, sometimes when I come on the platform from the beginning, when I joined, people will come and they say rubbish, and then I give it back to them. I said, exit if you don't want to be here. Nobody asked you to come and join. So if you are not happy with what you are hearing, just exit from the platform. And then after I realized, I said, leave these people. Let me just leave these people. They have their own wahala. Let them be. When the time comes, they will see that they have missed something.
Yeah.
They have missed something. And then to end it, I wanted to say that look at this movie, Roots. The way the slavery film,
yes,
they were maltreated, DSC. That is the same kind of treatment our people are giving us in Africa.
Wow.
The same kind of treatments, beatings, insulting, not to question any. The slave mentality is what our African parents are exposing on us.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And it's so hard, so sad and so heartbreaking. So sad and so heartbreaking. Imagine me, my mother would tell me I will not amount to anything in this life.
Wow.
Amount to nothing. My father the same. Disown me. So to the point where he even told me every money that he spent on me when he gave birth to me, I have to refund it.
Wow.
I have to refund it. So you see, I thank God for you and for your life, because what you are doing, you don't maybe really know that you are saving a continent which is burning. African continent is burned. And we have to rise from the ashes. We have to reborn Africa. Africa has to be reborn again. Africa has to be reborn again.
Thank you, Bridget.
Thank you so much, DSC. God bless you. And my love to everybody and everybody on the platform. I bless you all. In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Okay, many people have a lot to say. I think today was special. So thank God for that. We still have another caller. So let's see. Who is this next caller? Hello?
Good evening.
Hello?
Hello.
Yes.
Okay. I hope you are hearing me. This evening, I just want to say thank you to DSA and to all members of the team, all disciples. Just like the last caller has said, that he wanted you to make a disciple of him. Well, I think every one of us want the same thing.
Who is talking?
Asking, hello, sir.
Who is speaking?
This is Isaac from Texas.
Yes.
I used to call you, for up to now, I still call, and I still listen to your message, to all your messages.
Yes.
I want to make contribution to the asking questions in the book of Matthew 7:7.
Yes.
It states, ask. And let me see. It says, ask and it will be given to you. Asking is a very important question. It's a very important topic, and you have treated it so well. And I try a little to put out what you have done in my own way. So asking or questioning may involve some immediate punishment to the person asking.
Yeah.
And I want to tell every one of us that whatever the punishment for now, whatever the immediate punishment, we should just endure, because the long-term effect of asking far outweigh the short-term punishment. So that is a contribution I want to make. Another contribution I also want to make, sir, is that you have treated cause and effect. And in this area of cause and effect, I say that we need to maximize DSA. What do I mean by this? That we need to maximize DSA.
Radio and television.
For now, I don't think the message is going deep enough. It's covering the number of people is supposed to back in our country. Somebody visited me recently in Texas, and I was listening to the message, so I opened the set. He listened. He said, "Who is that?" I said, "Who is this? Have you not heard about DSA? Have you not heard about his messages? He listened to your message when he came, and everything he's been listening. But when he got back to Nigeria, I texted him, I sent him a text, and I said, 'Are you still listening to DSA?' He said the network is very poor." So what I meant by this is that we should maximize the effect of DSA. These messages are too powerful to restrict it to just a few number of us. They are too powerful. I mean, if a government knows of this, the government should send you straight. They should come and collect you in Ukraine and say, for a year or 2 years, just stay in Nigeria and be teaching people. But where am I going, sir? Is that how soon, sir, do you think you will be available in Nigeria so that we all be ready to man force in Nigeria? The communication in Nigeria is problematic, very problematic, but we need something, I mean, like people have been saying, something like radio or TV station, and your presence is perhaps most important in that country for now. So I do not know what is going on so much in Ukraine, but I hope, I want to have an idea, sir.
Okay, well, I don't know yet when I'll be leaving, because I'm still in court here. Only after the lawsuit here is finished. But we are ready to let the videos and the radio something go. But we need people to arrange all that in Nigeria. So that's the issue.
Okay. By the grace of God, I will be in Nigeria this year, and I will do this paid work and see what we can do. This man that I told you about that came visiting me, he said he's come. In fact, we are planning to come. It may not be this April program that you have to come to Ukraine. He said he's coming to Ukraine, and with that, I said, "You are not going alone. We are going together." So I thank you for all your efforts, and we shall continue to pray endlessly until you are free to come to Nigeria. We continue to pray for that. Thank you, DSA, and we pray that God will continue to empower you, because this is an empowerment that we never received in the colleges. No college empowers us to this level, and sometimes I sit down, I wonder, when I hear all that you say, DSA, I wonder where did all this knowledge come from? Where did they come from? Most of our bishops, most of our GOs, many of the pastors are not trained in this line. But beyond everything, you are a powerful force for us, and God will continue to keep you for us in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much, and God bless the whole team.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yep. Okay, we still have callers. So we still have callers. Okay, let's see who is the next person to call.
Hello, and good evening, everybody.
Hello, who is calling from where?
This is Yomi Adedeji calling from Michigan.
Yeah, how are you, Yomi?
I'm doing very great, sir.
Good.
I was told I have 3 minutes, which I will keep to.
Okay.
I'm just calling to appreciate you, sir.
Thank you.
And to just thank you, before everybody and before God, that for all that you've been doing. I remember when I met you and things were not really working, things were stagnant, and I needed help. And you stepped in. I had an encounter with you, and that has changed the whole of my story. Why I'm saying this is today, the copy, the Kindle version, the copy of my book came out on Amazon, but it will be officially released on February 14th. Wow. Why I'm doing this is to just really, really appreciate you and encourage people who might have given up on their vision, who might have given up on their dream, who might have thought, oh, maybe something good cannot come out of their Nazareth. But I just want to let them know that no matter how many times they've fallen, or no matter how many times people have ridiculed them or looked down on them, something great can still come out of their lives. There is a greatness that God has trapped inside of you for you to uncover and unleashed into your world. So Dr. Sunday came into my life and he encouraged me. And I also want to appreciate Dr. Victor Bamishaye and Dr. Success Olayemi Fakolade. They are also great people that I really appreciate, and I say kudos to you guys. Most especially Dr. Sunday, because if not for him, maybe I would just die with the visions and the dream. So if you're out there listening to me, God made you for something. He made you for and with a purpose. And don't let the devil tell you out of your purpose. Don't let the devil shake you or molest you or just harass you out of your blessings. Because no matter what the devil has done to you, he will not overcome. So I appreciate you, DSA. And I know that this is not just the best yet. The best is yet to come. And I'm going to post the link to the book on our platform after I drop the call. Thank you so much, sir. God bless you. Keep reproducing yourself and Jesus in our lives.
Can you mention the name of the book again to people?
The book is Walking in the Golden Principle. Walking in the Golden Principle. Everyone can go on Amazon and type it. It's there. You can pre-order it, but it will be available on Valentine's Day. And soon after that, the paperback copies will be released. I just thank you, Dr. Sunday. 3 minutes is not enough to thank you, but I just called to just say thank you. Thank you for all that you have done.
Congratulations, Pastor. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, sir. God bless you.
Blessings. Wow. Good. We're having some good results, good testimonies. Beautiful. Glory to God. Thank God. Hello?
Hello?
Yes.
DSA, how are you? This is Dagnet.
Who is talking?
This is Dagnet.
Dagnet, how are you today?
I'm good, DSA. How are you?
Good. Nice to hear from you today.
Yeah, I think I called yesterday or the day before. But,
yes.
Yes, thank you. This message, I just want to reiterate what everybody else has been saying, that this message is definitely well needed. As growing up in Africa, which is confirmed that as a child growing up, you were never encouraged to question. And when you did question situation, you were either punished or beaten, or you were told to sit in the corner and keep quiet and mind your business. At least that's what I was told. But I just want to tell God, thank you that I was a stubborn child, and I never learned, and I'm still questioning. And that really saved me from a lot of deliverance ministry nonsense.
Yes.
Because when I first got born again and joined the deliverance church in America, which is where I grew up most of my life, I used to question a lot of stuff. And the pastor always preached about, he had this book, and the book had a list. They call it some kind of spiritual dictionary that had all the names of the spirits and the evil spirits and their personality and the characteristic. And I guess the reason why he was studying those books, so if he sees anybody in his Sunday school or in his class that seemed to display any of those characteristics, then he would look in his book and, you have this spirit, you have that spirit. So one day I questioned him. I said, excuse me, sir, you are a man of God, right? He said, yes. I said, okay, how come that you know the names of all demonic spirits, but you don't know the name of one angel? So whose messenger are you? Of course, they try to, insult you and shun you. I've been reading Bible before you was born, and who are you to question me? I'm like, yeah, okay. So is that a yes or a no? Like, they will never answer me. Now, coming to this question thing, as I've been following the question session, what came across my mind? I thank God for question. I've always questioned as a child. They tried to beat it out of me. They never did. I'm glad they couldn't beat it out of me. And I'm still questioning till today, and I will continue to question. You know what crossed my mind? It's like a revelation. It's like a light bulb moment, an epiphany. It just went up in my head like, ta-da! What came across my mind was, if Adam and Eve had questioned God why they shouldn't eat from that tree, maybe the calamity of humanity would not have happened, the downfall of humanity.
Beautiful.
God just told them, don't eat from this tree. And all they said was yes. What if they had asked him why?
Wow.
Maybe if they had asked him why, we wouldn't have fallen.
Beautiful.
That's what crossed my mind. So because they didn't question God, then Satan questioned God. Then Satan questioned them. Did God really say you couldn't eat from that tree? So if you don't question God, Satan's going to question you. Hello, somebody.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
That's my contribution. That's what I got to say. Thank you.
God bet you are so blessed, so unique. Thank you. Wow, amazing, amazing. What a revelation. If you ask God question, then you will know what to tell Satan when Satan comes with his own question to you. But if you don't question God, then you don't know how to answer Satan. Beautiful, beautiful revelation. Okay, it's like we might have another caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yep.
Hello, DSA.
Yes, Adeshola.
Yeah, how you doing?
Ekaleo.
Ekalesa.
Good evening.
Yeah. How you doing?
Well, I'm trying hard to just make people get these things.
Yes, thank God for your life, sir. And I just want to appreciate God for making you and helping you to digress today.
So it's a good
because
thing.
This was not.
It was a good thing that I digressed.
I believe it was God that has orchestrated this for you. Because when you were teaching, I was like, actually, when my husband came in, he was busy doing so many things. So when he came in, I said, DSA is not really on point today. I was like, what's going on? You're not teaching. What I was expecting is not what I'm hearing from you. So, and as it was going on, I said, okay, I think I understand. And you now said it, that this was not what you planned for today. And I was like, okay, this was not what you actually, because I was like, I went back to the topic again. I said, this was not what you, because he came in late. Was like, what is DSA teaching today? I told him. I said, okay. And I said, if DSA is not teaching what the topic today, and was talking about questioning and things, then yes. My husband said, yes, that's my, he was kind of excited that, okay, though he was not in the message, he was in and out. He said, yes. So I told you that's why I question everything.
Yeah.
You see, the reason why I'm calling is, I remember growing up, and I know a lot of callers have said this, I remember growing up being a very timid person. growing up, I never asked questions. My dad was very oppressive on us. My dad was very intimidating growing up as a child. And so that thing makes me not to question things around me. And that's kind of mentality. It gave you a kind of a low self-esteem. When you don't question things, it reduces you. That's the way I could relate with this. But thank God, as I was growing up in the Lord, and I began to understand some things, and I could tell that my knowledge in the things of God was kind of increasing, especially when I now met my husband. So he questioned me on so many things before we got married. I was like, God, what kind of person is this? So I was like, he questioned a lot of things. He questioned everything. So I was like, why is he questioning me like this? I said, nobody has ever, even I can't even question anybody. So, and so many things like a puzzle, they now begin to make sense. It's like you question this, you question that, you question this. The one that now bring all the pieces together, it makes sense. It's like when you are making a puzzle for people that, when you have a puzzle and you're trying to bring the puzzles together. So the puzzles, they were like kind of making sense to me. I said, oh, and I know why this guy questioned a lot of things. Because all the while he was questioning me, I questioned things in my family. I was like, this guy is just too, sometimes I'm like, he's just too much. To me, it seems as if he's kind of disrespectful. But later on, I begin to understand it, like, why is he so disrespectful? People think that he's too proud. Then I begin to understand some things as I was learning, as I was like a desire in my heart, like, okay, why are things the way they are? Yeah. When I did the Truth series, I remember you were telling me another series that I would like is Thinking series. Yeah. And I love that. And I started listening to it. And even my husband is just mind-blowing, because putting all the relationship, putting all the words together, why we have to think. And I'm sorry to say, you use a sister as an example, Sister Eroti. You use that as an example that, she's not thinking, you try to make an analysis on why we are living, we are not thinking, we are sleeping. Yeah. Because we don't question why we do things. Yes. You go to school, you get a degree, you have the PhD. You are not thinking, you are still sleeping. Yeah. Because we are trying to explain to us that, like, most of our life, we are sleeping. We don't question things. We are sleeping. Yeah. Because we have not come out of that environment to think for ourselves. Yeah. And I think that is one of the biggest problems we have in Christianity today. Like my husband, I remember that he would say, why do I have to go to church? Yeah. He said he always asked himself, why am I going to church today? Even before he came to the United States, he has been a radical person even before he came to the United States. He said, why am I going to church? Why do I even have to go to church? Things like that. And then because that is like you were born into that thing. You were born into that culture that you have to go to church, you have to be in the choir, you have to be in the usher, you have to be an usher, you have to be this. But you don't question why are all these departments? Why do they need all this department in the church? Because we don't get to question, we don't get to question the things that like the status quo. We don't tend to question the status quo of things. They will say, oh, it is spiritual thing, you don't question spiritual things. And that brought my mind to David in Psalm 27, when he said, one thing have I desired of the Lord, that will I seek after, that I may dwell in the house of the Lord all the days of my life, to behold the beauty of the Lord and to inquire in his temple. So David is a man, and that's why God called David a man after my own heart. That means David inquired, he said that he might inquire of the Lord. Might inquire in the temple of the Lord. That means there is a point that we get to as we walk with the Lord. We question things. We ask God. You're not just asking God. Maybe things happen and like, God, why me? No, you are asking things based on what is going on around you, and it's just like you are engrossed in love with God, and God is helping you. Is bringing you to a level that you will walk with Him. He's bringing you to a level that, yes, You don't walk based on, you don't walk based on your senses. Even though you are asking questions, you want to know why things are in existence. So when you started digressing on this topic today, I'm like, God, there are so many questions personally I need to ask. I need to work on myself. You look at the church, you look at how environment has brought you up to this day. Like I'm in the United States, I question so many things. Like when I was listening to your meeting this afternoon on the response on the topic you were just having a discussion, and I was like, when there were so many questions being thrown to you, why you don't do certain things, why you don't watch movies and all that, then I personally have come to that point. Like I have to say, we don't have TV in our house. I don't have TV. I have to come to that point of questioning, why do I have to watch TV?
Yeah.
We don't have cable. We don't have cable at home.
Yeah.
And my children, they question us a lot. And I begin to say that seriously, I got to understand this. Since I started listening to you, I begin to, it's like there is a kind of detoxification that is so high in me that I am working so much on my time. And that is why I have to get that your book on that time. Our time is so much precious. The time that we spend on the things we spend our time on is so much precious, even in the sight of God. Because the Bible says that we're going to give account of everything. Yeah. So everything we do, we're going to be accounted for. How do you spend your time? And then I was so impressed when you were talking about how will you spend time on watching a game or playing some things. I was one that commented that DSA is an old school. When I say you're an old school, I'm not saying it in a negative way. I'm saying it in a big positive way. Because you don't go by the way of the world. Let me just put it that way. And I always call my husband too, that he's an old school guy. Because there are so many things he doesn't do. I'm like, I'm like, why are you not doing this? Say, no, I don't have to go by the status quo. I don't have to go by the way people are doing things. That doesn't mean I don't get information. That doesn't mean I don't get knowledge. But I don't have to do things because people are doing it. He doesn't spend time. He doesn't watch game. He doesn't watch, TV. Even if you have to watch TV, we have done, like we were saying, even if you have to do things like that, you have settled a lot of things. You have done the real thing. You have done the most important thing. Then you're going to have a time of relaxation, and it's just going to be for an hour or so, and you get out of the way. But some people, they will just take their time and have the game. They know all the TV programs. They know the one that is coming up next week. They know the next movie. I'm not trying to castigate anybody, but the more we try to, we think inwardly and begin to come back and say, why do I do things the way I'm doing it? Why am I doing? At times I question myself, why am I even listening to DSA? Why am I listening to you? Because there is a longing, there is a thirst. And because what you are saying, you are not just saying it because you want people to hear you. You are saying it because you want to give all that you have. You want to give it out for people to know that this is not all about you. It is all about God. And it's all about building up a potential in individual and making people to know that, yes, you can be who God has called you to be. So this digression you did today, I believe it is for a reason. It is for a reason. Even when we are in search of the truth, we have to question it. Even if we are in search of the knowledge of the Word of God, you have to question, why am I doing what I am doing? I don't just go by the way people are doing things. I want to know why these things are being done in this way, or what I can do to make it a better thing. Because your addition, your input to certain things in life could be a long-lasting effect to some people. And I was discussing with my sister this morning. I said, how I wish that people can release their totality and come and listen to a word like this that DSA is teaching everybody. But what she was telling me, she said a lot of people don't like DSA. That was what she told me this morning. They said because they don't like DSA, that is why they don't want to listen. I said, but why can't they just leave the sentiment out of it? This is not about DSA, but this is all about what God is about to do in their life. But I believe strongly that what God is going to do is going to do. And I was telling her that for me, I'm not going to keep quiet. I will continue in my consistency. Like anybody that goes to my Facebook page is all about, in fact, it's so much loaded with sharing of DSA. A friend of mine called me last week. He said, Shola, are you still a Christian? I said, what do you mean? He said, because you are listening to DSA. So DSA is not a Christian. She said, like, are you still a Christian? I said, of course, I'm still a believer. He said, but you are listening to DSA. The guy is he said, the guy is a devil. I said, really? He said, what makes you think that he's a devil? He said, because he's anti-Christianity. I said, really? I said, so I was like, I'm going to give her a time. I'm going to give her a time that I'm going to call her and I'll try to explain some things to her, because what people are seeing out there.
Maybe she knows me better than you.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. She doesn't. It's because of what they are hearing. It's because I don't even know what I should say. It's because of what they are hearing. It's because of the sentiment. They are very, very complacent in their mind that they just don't want to live what they believe. Just like when you were talking about when I was doing the truth series, when I was listening to the truth series, why do they deny the truth? Why don't they want to listen to this? Because of their belief system. It's because of what they have believed from years back. So it takes a lot of I don't know whether it takes a lot of it takes them to really be broken completely, for them to really take away all the things they've heard and start all over again. Personally, I tell them, I say, why can't you just discard the things that you have heard and come on with a new heart and listen with a fresh mind? Then you now know that these things is nothing but the word of God, it's not the word of DSA. So, just things like this, it brings people to come to understand that there is nothing we do here on earth without thinking, without questioning. I wake up in the morning, why do I dress? I actually have a question I do to myself. I say, why do I dress the way I dress today? Is it to impress somebody? Why do I wear my makeup? All the truth is, this teaching, it still goes back to the love series. Everything is, they are connected one way or the other. They are connected. Because a man that seeks to love God will question things, and it makes you to fall in love with the Lord. It helps you it builds your relationship with God, because you question why you do things. So for me, I think it is still, though you digress, for anyone that is a lover of the truth, that is a lover of God, you want to question why you do things in a certain way. You want to question why you dress in a certain way. You want to question, is it because I see people doing it? Because environment, another thing, DSA, is very powerful. When we come to an environment, like I have children, my children, they question me a lot. They question so many things. They ask me, why do you do this kind of it? They question everything you do. So if you don't let them question things like that, as they grow up, like you were telling us that the only gift, the best thing you can ever give to your children is for them to be able, ability to question, ability to think. If you don't let them question you, like growing up, my father will slap my mouth if I ask him such a question. I know my dad has beaten me so much, he will slap you. You dare not ask him such a question. So, but for me, I know better. My children, they go, Mommy, why do you dress this way? Why do you do this? You have to give them an answer. You have to let them know so that they grow up and they'll have, you build a good self-esteem in them, that they go and they know why they are doing. They are not just going by the crowd. I think this is what this thing is telling us, because when we fall in love with the Lord, it helps us to do things the way we have to do it. And it helps us to focus more on Him and not focus on the things that are, that will pull us away from Him, helping us to grow in love with Him. I still believe that this message, though you digress, everything is still connected one way or the other, DSA. So I just want to appreciate God for letting you bring out this word. I think this word is doing great things for people, and it is helping us to go back to our shell and understand why we do things in a certain way.
Did you say you started listening to the Truth series also?
Oh, Thinking series, yeah.
Thinking.
My husband is listening to it. Yeah.
That's more complex.
Oh, he actually was telling me this morning. He said, you now know why DSA said it's deep. It's very, very deep.
Yeah.
It's deep. Yeah, it's deep. Yeah, it's coming up. It's taking up the series of anyway. So I don't know if you know about that. It's coming up on that.
No, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Sorry?
I didn't know I was going to take that up.
Yeah, it's coming up on that. Oh, maybe I let the cat out the bag.
Because that's a very deep one. Nobody has taken it yet.
Oh, yeah, he's taking it up. He's taking it. He's coming up. He's big time.
You people are taking the most difficult. Two of you are taking the most difficult. Truth.
Oh, yeah.
Truth and thinking.
A few days he was having his lower back pain.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was feeling pain, but thank God he's feeling much better today.
Thank God.
And I thank you so much for the message you sent to me. Yeah. I related it with him too. Yeah. Helping us to just focus more on God. In fact, I must tell you, when I read the message, I was just crying. When you said me, listen to me, I was like, it's as if you were talking to me. Like, Adeshola, listen to me. So that was just woke me up. Come on, wake up. You're sleeping, wake up. So like, because thank you so much.
Because I wanted to share my experience with Pastor Bosse with you. That's why I wrote that.
Yeah. Yes, you did. And I remember we were both having breakfast in the morning and I showed him the message. He said, yes, it's true. It's true. You were telling us that it has to be a covenant thing. It has to be in our heart.
Yeah.
And we both read the message and I said, yes, I just believe that this word came at the right time for both of us. I must tell you, DSA, we've been through a lot. And going back to that idolization and all, it's not like it's not that I don't love God. Yes, we love God, but there are some things you don't really know that you cherish so much.
But let me tell you, there was a time that I had to stop because I knew that I loved my wife so much that I was now confused. Who do I love most?
Exactly, me too.
Yeah, and that was why that covenant had to come.
Yeah, that was what came to my mind because he's been going through a lot of pain and all that, even though he went through therapy. Even there was a time he was like, God, why? Why is he? He's such a very active guy. He was such a very, very active guy. He got injured on his walk. It was when he was working here, when he came to the United States, he injured a back 17 years ago. Could you imagine? Yeah. 2001, that was when he injured that back. So since then, it has never been the same. So it goes on and on. So it's been a big challenge. So these few weeks, it's like, oh my God, why? And when this love series now came in, whatever you idolize, you lose and all that. I'm like, God, I cherish him. He's been so much. He's been part of my life. He's been, I don't say he's been everything. But God, you are my everything. You don't want to place him, before God. But I thank you so much because that message came at the right time. And when they sent me the message of the asking which series, he doesn't even know what to say. So he now told me, I said, okay, you guys, we were talking about the thinking series because I was listening to the thinking series. So you got to listen to part of it. He said, yes, this is a very deep series. He said he loved this series because it's very, very deep. I must tell you, I don't know if these 2 hours will be enough for him. His book is full. In fact,
we can do series with it because that's a very. In fact, it's the most difficult series. That one.
If you see what my husband has written, I said, you think you're gonna finish this thing in 1.5 hours? You don't have all this. We first two.
Yes.
Sorry.
I think we have to do maybe series with him.
Oh yeah. He said the first two topic alone. He said I can talk from now till next year. He said I can talk from now till next year. I look at his writing pad already. He's getting full. I said, he's 14 in total. He's 14.
Wow.
I said, 14 is, you're not going to finish the 14. I think it's the number 7 now. I don't know. If you see the book, I said, forget it. These 2 hours is not, you can't even finish everything. I said, we'll see.
He's he's very intelligent. I like to deal with intelligent people like that.
Oh my God, maybe when he's very deep. That was one thing that got me so much attracted to you, DSA. I must tell you. When you were talking this afternoon, he came in briefly and I was saying DSA doesn't watch. He said, yeah, that's my guy. I'm like, because could you believe that my husband is not on social media? Wow. I'm the one that brought my husband on social media. Seriously. nobody can see my husband's picture anywhere. I'm sure they're gonna see his picture, but you cannot see him anywhere.
Wow.
You can go and look for another Osaro. It will be another Osaro. It's not him. Apart from the one he did with that they brought his name in the State House in the United States. You cannot see his picture anywhere. So at times I'm like, why are you so crazy? He said, no, I know why I'm doing it. It's not like if you know I'm doing it, I'm part of you. So anytime I'm online, he join with me. He just like he's somebody that at times he draws back. He just want to think.
Yeah.
So I think that series is best for him to take it. I don't think I want to do that series the way he's best to take it because he's a thinker. The way he does things is just at times I'm like, you are not of this, you are just crazy. Do you know that my husband doesn't have a smartphone?
I don't have to.
My husband, you see, he doesn't have a smartphone. He said, as long as my phone can say hello, he's like, come on, at least. I said, no. He said, you will tell me there is time for everything. He said, I spend my time on things that are quality.
You know that I don't have phone at all. Not smart, not any phone.
I have to let him have a phone because if he goes out, I need to call him. But outside, even at home, even when we go outside and they ask my husband his phone number, I say, let me call my wife. He doesn't know his phone number. That's the truth. He doesn't know his phone number. I'm like, why are you so... At times I'm like, you are just too serious. You are just too... come on. But I understand him. I'm his wife. I understand him and I know that this guy can stay my husband can stay on the bed. Dare say, I'm not exaggerating. My husband can stay in one position for 8 hours and be reading and not get up from that place. I'm not exaggerating. He's just so deep in when he puts his heart into something, he goes for it.
Yeah.
He goes for it. So that's why when he have the back pain challenge, he say, come on, I'm a very active person. This back should not pull me down.
Yeah.
So I think it's best for him to take the series. He's gonna come up next week by God's grace to take up the series. So he's really, really preparing for that. He's so excited to take up that series. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Adeshola. Nice talking to you today. Thank you. Blessings.
Yes, thank you.
Bye. Unfortunately, let me say bye-bye to everybody because it's 4 hours and the Facebook is going to put up the whatever. It's going to put up the Facebook now. When it's 4 hours, they switch it off. So see you tomorrow, guys. See you tomorrow, everybody. God bless. Bye.